want another sewing buddy so that I can make like dresses and stuff.
That's so cute.
Mainly like Gothic Victorian. And Gothic Victorian stuff. Because there's not a lot. What? Yeah.
Hi.
My mom decided to call me. She wants some nachos.
Nachos. That just sounds amazing.
Especially like spicy with some spicy chili on it. Yes. I'm so sad that my mom isn't a pepperhead anymore.
Isn't a what?
A pepperhead anymore. She can't handle spicy food anymore.
Oh.
That would kill me. I need spice in my life on pretty much everything, or there's no flavor.
Right? Like, she can handle some spicy food, but she has to take it down from, like, Diablo to, like, hot.
I mean, not bad.
Yeah.
I don't like spicy stuff. Like, I like a little tiny bit of spice, but for the most part, it's just... Yeah, I'm pretty good with mild.
I love all spicy food.
Before the pandemic, like, was in full swing, I was working as an usher at one of the theaters on the Strip in Las Vegas, and
nice.
When I was going to get like lunch or something, I went to the food court and there was this chicken place, so I got chicken, and I was like, just give me the spiciest chicken sandwich you got. And the person was like, are you sure? It's ghost pepper.
Oh.
And I was like, I've already said it, there's no backing down.
I love it. I know exactly which chicken place you're talking about.
I said what I said.
I was like, I no, there's no turning back. And I ate it.
Yeah.
And my friend gave me some Tums because I was gonna need it.
At this moment you knew you fucked up.
Yeah.
But there was no regrets.
Yeah, I love it so much.
I want to try making curry, but I need to like find a good curry recipe. And it's so hard. Because I can't find
I
it.
am a fan. I get that. Curry's
But like,
delicious.
I really haven't found any places that like not just like sell curry, but make curry anywhere that isn't really greasy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Like who like that for food? Like you buy curry to eat. They make it there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I thought about trying out this new curry place that opened up, and I was like kind of judging a little bit because I saw mainly like suburban moms going in there, and I was like, suburban moms that like it's those kind of suburban moms that think Taco Bell is actual Mexican food.
I see.
So I was like, am I?
Tacos. I love tacos.
I was like, oh no.
If you're furries, you want to pay attention who the cook is and what they look like, not the people working there. If you go into like a curry place, like a really good one, the chef will be probably an Indian male in his mid-30s, right? That's how you can
What happens if it's a female? What happens if it's a female in her like late 40s?
I have literally
In
no
her
idea.
late
I've
40s.
never seen a female curry cook, to be honest.
How many male characters have you slept with, Talion?
I've never. It's like one of those cultural things, like Japanese sushi and whatnot, you know.
Oh no, that's actually really sexist, really. That's
Yeah.
actually super sexist.
Yeah,
No, I mean, like, in
it's like
Japan,
culture.
in Japan, women aren't supposed to be sushi
Yeah.
chefs at all.
I think it's the same with Indian and curry. Like the chef is
Yeah, it
always
is.
a man.
I think
with
it sounds like something we could research.
I know, I'm curious. I
Yeah,
forget
let's
it.
look it up.
I've never seen an Indian woman cooking at a curry restaurant, so I'm actually curious now.
That is a terrifying kitty on the screen.
Why does it have a smaller nose, like a smaller cap for the nose?
That's the more like an anglerfish.
That's where you boop it.
That's
And then
really
you
Yeah.
get eaten.
Ah, yes.
So, yes. Welcome, everyone. We are officially live. Hello, chat. You'll probably notice that, first off, I am back. Had a bit of a break. Needed to think to myself, reestablish some good stuff. I dropped the ball in a few places, but we are back and we're good and going. No session officially today. This is session 0, so a lot of this is setting the tone, talking about backstories, and kind of talking about the adventure to come forth without any spoilers, Mr. I want to know which sin it is.
I don't
They know
what
who they
you're
are.
talking about.
Yeah, they know who they are.
I have no idea. I don't.
No,
It
they
would
know.
be a lot better if you hadn't said anything, period.
I have no idea. what
So,
you're talking about.
yes.
Uh-oh, did we lose someone?
Don't worry.
that's
Yeah.
Melidan.
So for anyone wondering, we have the character portraits from the previous campaign, so it's easier to tell who's who. But their names have been changed. They're just to their names that they'll refer to. That we refer to them on Discord. It's usually easier that way. And for anyone just wondering, you know, why I call like, hey, this is Talion, this is Ryvr, this is Skittles, Jessie, Melidan, and Bread. You know that those are the names I refer to, and you can link them to who and who. Thank you so much, Akin. Yeah. A lot of today is character talk and setting the tone. I think I'm actually going to go ahead, and this is going to be the first campaign that has, like, a title for it, rather than just Homebrew World with the Saturday group.
Oh,
Yes.
It should be our group name.
Actually, no. So, the group name, you know, that's entirely something else. This is more like, kind of like how you would read the title of a book, to kind of, like, glimpses to, like, what's to come. It's still something I'm working with, but I will let you all know definitely before our first session next week. I'm looking forward to it greatly. Yeah,
Cool.
let's go ahead and talk character. A lot of what it is today is going over backstories, let's reestablish stuff, and the homework I gave all my player characters is, on top of working on your character, is to also establish a positive link and a negative link. The rules to this are as follows. You cannot, the person who is your positive link cannot be your negative link, and vice versa. So you have to have, it basically forces connections with 2 other players. And on top of this, you cannot have more than one positive and more than one negative. So everyone is actually participating in this. This is a standard I hold everyone to. And I'm assuming that everyone at some point in the week reached out to someone to partner up with for both positive and negative. And if you haven't, this is the session to be doing that.
Sure, we totally didn't wait till last minute.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah.
all very thoroughly.
We literally weren't told at the last minute that we couldn't have more than one positive and negative.
Yeah, you didn't say that the first time. Yeah.
You have that, folks.
So let's go ahead, and I actually want to hear a little bit from someone who I understood that had a character creator for a while, and they already kind of established a positive connection. So I want to hear a little bit from both Melidan and Bread.
Ooh.
What did you want to hear?
Tell what's the character? Who's your positive link? Do you have a negative link you're working with? And of course, you know, like give us a little bit of what you have going on so far. And as well, for anyone wondering, this is also the perfect session to be asking questions about the campaign setting. You guys are going to you guys are actually exploring one of the continents, not an island that's like floating in the sky. There's an entire culture that's from here. There's technology that's different. Even the very magic in the setting is also different.
Oh, great. No, now we're going to be affected by other things.
Like weather. And
Weather.
pickpockets.
Okay. I'm playing Raggu, the kobold, mostly wizard. I've dipped into my first couple levels into artificer for a couple of reasons. My positive connection is with Melidan. Our backstories are heavily linked for the most part. We haven't worked out like all of the details, but she is the carrier of the kobold backpack, and we are both blessed by Bahamut. That's why Raggu is a silvery, platinum-looking kobold instead of your average chromatic red.
Pics.
I do have
That's
pics.
so
Well, actually, I already
cute.
put pics in here. Let's see.
I know, but show it off.
Yeah, it's
Be like,
not-
it's a show
yeah.
and tell. Be like, I brought this to the table.
Be like, no, sorry, Zeno. Go put it on the screen share.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm drawing Raggu.
It's adorable.
Please send me a
It's
DM
adorable.
of Raggu. I think I nailed them.
Pictures up and D&D images.
I am going to. Yeah. There it is.
Is Raggu short for anything, or is it just Raggu?
It's just Raggu.
Oh, look at
My
the
mother's name
names.
is
Grego.
Grego, and my father's name is Newman.
Yeah! Are your kids gonna be named pastas like penne, spaghettini, fettuccine?
Well, I have to sunder children first for this to happen, so we will see. Maybe I'll find
Stick a
more
pin in
sauce brands.
There we go. Look at it. That's a little Raggu right there.
Look at him go.
Raggu eyes when he sees shiny. Yes, he does have the same character flaw as Nasberg.
Like Stansburg.
He's a fella. Little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Spell on your turn.
Melidan. Melidan.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
No.
It is your turn, Miss.
Huh?
Show and tell. It is your turn. Tell us about your character, your positive link, your negative link. Like, this is session 0 to talk about characters, please.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was trying to figure out what's going on with my laptop. I need to take it back to the shop.
Oh no!
Yeah, audio. Yay. Anyway, mine is a Goliath ranger named Falzen. And he's a Drake Warden. He actually lived a pretty stable life. Even though his parents were always worried about his ability to connect with dragons, they really supported him, along with the rest of the clan. So they let him pretty much, they let him try to venture off on his own, and not too far from the herd, but far enough away so that they can in case he can still do his own thing, but if he needs help, he can shout for his family and help along. As he grew older, he wanted to make a sanctuary for a lot of animals, and as he traveled along, he found a kobold in his backpack. I like to think, would your character just sneak into his backpack at one point and just found it comfortable?
No, I
Red?
don't think so.
Yeah, this is the. But remember, this is the
I
whole
would've-
point of
I
session
would've
zero. Is
approached you with
to.
a normal kobold.
Yeah, remember, this is the whole point of session zero. This is where we talk about stuff. So that way, when you're making characters, remember, your character right now should not be done. That is like a thing that's understood about session zero. Your character should not come into today's stream and be done. This is the stream to adjust your backstory, to ask questions, and get all things established.
Yeah.
At the end of the session, I will be a paladin.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Because Raggu's already dead. Look at him, little flimsy guy.
Raj was already he had like 5 hit points. He died of some psychic damage while nobody was looking.
He died of embarrassment damage, yeah.
Yeah.
He fell out of the backpack and died from the fall damage.
Yeah, he was pretty much like the hunter slash gatherer for the herd, or at least because all of them like do herding of different animals, and he's like, why can't they get along? Like they got along as cubs. Why do you have to separate them and because they're not like exposed for long periods of time? Why not just let them have it? They can live in harmony for the most part. And the family's like, do you have space big enough for that? And I'm like, I'll find it. And he finds an egg.
Yo, that man is yoked. What is going on?
So, sorry, I might have missed it. How do Raggu and what's your character's name again? Melidan?
Falzen?
Falzen?
Yep. You can
How
call
to
him Ball.
fucking yoke.
How did they meet? Did you say that?
I have no idea.
Maybe type it out in general.
We're gonna talk about it.
Sorry.
Yoked.
Like, how do you want them to meet?
Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah.
Can't tell if Xeno's drawing me or my staff.
Yes.
Could be either one.
Just yes.
Yes. Whichever one you're vibing with
I
most.
like to imagine that it's my staff.
I think it's
That's the
you,
only
to be
thing I have.
honest.
Yep, there I am. It is my stick. You will only ever see the stick. It looks like the stick is talking whenever I'm speaking from the backpack.
That makes sense.
He used the stick like a Muppet.
Oh my god, it's a puppet show.
The puppet.
It's the little shark toys where you pull the little lever and the mouth.
Yeah, and the mouth moves, yeah. I love it so much. Did he make it himself?
Yes, of course.
Of course
He's a
he did.
little tinker. He's a little tinkery little fella.
I love that. You're so cute. Here, put you in my pocket.
A pocket.
Yeah, I'll shrink you down, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah. But remember, and so did you guys already have ideas for your negative connections as well for who you partnered up with already?
Well, I did.
You did.
Before there was a limit of 1.
Sorry.
I stole her.
Okay, Sarah, I don't blame you.
Well, this is the session to find that out.
I don't blame anybody.
Yeah, this is the session to find that out. Melidan, did you also have a negative connection with anyone set up or no?
No, I don't. I don't remember who
That is fine. Once again, it is okay. That is the whole point of session 0. Today's session is very loosey-goosey. We are not really playing the game. Today's a lot of like questions about characters and stuff like that. But here, let's go on ahead to another pair that I'm already familiar has a positive connection. Talion and Ryvr.
Hello. You go first, Tal.
That was good.
Yeah, go first, Talion. Tell us a little about your character.
Alright, well, Jawed Ravengate is a satyr, and he was born in the midsummer as a noble of the city of Ravengate in the kingdom of Zilafir. And then, one thing led to another. He was roughly like 16-ish. He was attending a prestigious noble school, and he did something to piss off his parents a lot. So they sent him away and exiled him temporarily to a small town to the west of Ravengate. and where he continued out the rest of his education. And then once he finished, he wanted to go and explore the world more rather than returning home. So he crossed over this very large mountain range, decidedly in the dead middle of winter. So, crossing over this mountain range, he thought he could do it because he didn't want to go back the way he came, because that would force him to cross back through his parents' city. So he just kept trekking through the mountains, trying to survive on what little food that he could find up there, not wanting to turn back. And he kept fighting against the occasional wolf pack that showed up. And at the very end, he reached the far side, the far western side of the mountains on a plateau, and was able to look down. And when he was there about to pass out from exhaustion, a divine being descended upon him, very similar to someone that people may know in the last campaign. Numbers descended down below him, and really liked the fighting spirit that he had, and of course, Numbers, being Numbers, gave him his holy pre-workout, giving him superpowers.
Majestic. What is with that bulge?
And with the power of Holy Pre, he became a divine soul sorcerer. Shit.
Oh my god. What's happening?
Yeah, and waking up at the bottom of the mountains on the western side after passing out and accepting the power of the god of battle, he ventured into a town nearby where he ended up meeting Ryvr's character. She can explain now.
Hello. And not just that, but Nox Litigarium is a changeling trickster cleric who happened to attend the very same school that I don't even know how to pronounce your ungodly name, but Talion, what's the first name again?
Jod.
Jod?
Yep.
Okay. Jod. John or Jod?
Jod, J-O-D.
No, don't you crazy? Okay, Jod and Nox actually went to the same school for a handful of years and were best friends, pretty much.
Yeah.
They aligned very much in the same way as Nox was a very sheltered child where really you'd only see them at school and then they'd go straight home. They had to sneak out in order to even hang out with Jod, just to actually be a kid. And there was an arrangement within the family Litigarius, who actually teaches at that school, and they're a very big name there in the alchemy field. There was an arrangement for Nox to be given away, and Nox did not like that. And at a very young age, perhaps 16, 17, they ran away, just as Jod did. And they ran, and as a changeling, never kept the same face for more than a handful of weeks, if even that long. And just lived it up. Think redemption of the conservative Catholic child. Kind of warpath for themselves. You name it. You name it. 100 into it. Drugs, drinking, copious amounts of bedfellows, maybe more than one at the same time. Like, it was a mess. It is a mess.
That would totally be like on the lookout for this child. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, I understand.
And that's when she found Jod with his massive bulge as drunk.
Really, the massive bulge. But what is with that creepy fucking stance? But, I mean,
you're sneaky.
Anyway. But that's fucking horrifying. This is horrifying. I hate it. I love it. Oh man, I
Welcome
freaking
to the
hate
inner,
it.
welcome to the inner workings of my brain. A lot of this is my brain during sessions, and at the same time, it can go from like really detailed or really cute to just like jawed.
Come on. I posted a picture of Nox Litigarium in DG images. They
Let me
are
fix that.
they are non-binary. They adopt whatever race, features, genitals that they need at the time. But they do mostly just do they, them pronouns. So they don't really mind any, to be honest. They just don't really align one way or another.
I just posted Jod, so I forgot to do that.
And whenever Nox found Jod, probably worse for wear, they patched them up, brought them in, and reconnected.
Yeah.
They would have been traveling together for maybe a couple weeks before meeting up with everybody else. However, we will, that will happen.
See, look at that. I fixed it.
My character is probably like, just kept going on and is mainly a trader for Red's company, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, like a merchant for Red, and then Red just shows up and just like, yeah, I got it listed in some shape or form. And he's like, NATO.
Is that what you
Right.
really think when you think of Nox?
No, I'm just doing it because it's just the first thing that comes to my brain right now.
Yeah. I
Really
like
like
the Christian trauma in the back. The religious trauma in the back. Fuck
And
yes.
who did you get commissioned for your character, Nox?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I just hunted that picture down. You don't
Yeah.
understand. I will spend days scrolling through every Google image, every Pinterest page till I find the right one. I am so
Nice. You're
particular.
better than me that
about-
literally just throws money at people.
No, I just listen. I make too many characters to throw money at people, and I can draw a little bit. So if I really wanted a personalized image, I can make one for myself.
Yeah, I'm financially irresponsible, so I picked money.
I wasn't gonna say that. I wasn't gonna say that at all.
So, with that in mind, we head on to our last pairing, which we've understood that obviously, with so much time, they've established just a wonderful, positive relationship. Nothing at all written today. I'm kidding. I love you too. Jessie and Skittles.
Well, my character, her name is going to be Leona Dyro. She's a house elf. She actually, starting with, she has a negative connection with Nox. Who there's a case of mistaken identity
Well, I would
between
do
the
that.
two. So she grew up. She's a very boisterous child. She was very tomboyish in her young age, and she had a childhood friend, a red tiefling boy who was kind of quiet, and they would play for hours outside. But when they ended up going to school together, she gravitated more towards like the bigger groups. She liked people. She wanted to be popular. He was kind of in the background, so he started to get like bullied and whatnot, and she didn't stop it. So the relationship had changed. A particular brutal prank on him happened, and she turned her back instead of helping him, and she wanted to apologize, but she never got the chance. Him and his family were gone the next day. She had a pretty normal childhood after that, but she did end up starting to have visions. She is right now. She is a divine, not divine, sorry, a divination wizard. But I don't. Is gonna move around. Probably take some more levels in fighter. And she is the first oracle in her family, because they didn't think that it would be her since she is a half elf. They thought it would be her cousin.
Please
So
go ahead and let Jessie finish.
she hates studying. She doesn't like learning. She likes physicality. So she ran off to experience the world and become more strong. And in that time, she had met Nox, mistaken them for her friend from childhood, and wanted to start maybe a relationship with them, and it turned out bad.
Nice.
And is connected with Skittles' character, who she kind of looks up to as a mentor, and is kind of won't allow Skittles' character to disregard her, or she wants to learn a lot from Skittles, and she wants to take any knowledge and physical prowess from her.
Notice me, senpai, what? Notice me,
Yes,
senpai,
very
what?
much so.
I'm getting very big. I thought she was a girl, then she whipped out a cock vibes.
Alright. Yeah, we're connected because I have created a Oathbreaker Paladin. She had something really terrible that she doesn't talk about happened in her past with her mercenary company that she co-founded. This is Rohe's Grizell, or Grizz, or Ro. Hold on, that fucking link didn't work. I have to fix it. Don't click on it, it's a virus.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So yeah, Ro was a former mercenary commander who her entire company was slaughtered because of reasons, and you might be able to get it out of her if you're nice enough. But that set her on the path to becoming a redemption paladin, but because when she went to lay herself before Lumi, the goddess of the light, she very much was like, I need to be able to do something to fix what has happened. And Lumi very much was like, maybe. Right now you can be Oathbreaker and perhaps you'll be able to balance it out in the end. So we're on the path to redemption. She's doing that by adventuring and helping as many people and trying to right the wrongs. She very much is an older person, and very experienced, kind of like grumpy, but absolutely loves the company of her young protege, self-described protege, I might add. Excuse me. So yeah, she very much is like, has the military experience, has the fighting know-how, is, you know, big, badass, scarred veteran warrior, with cute, excitable, happy, show me everything, let's go, boss, let's go,
Let's do
friend.
it.
Yeah.
Do it. All right.
That is Ro. I don't have a negative because reasons.
All right, good session 0, everyone. Everyone
All
go
right.
home.
Everyone go home. So no. Let me go ahead.
We talked about all of the negative connections.
Yeah, exactly. There are still some negative connections to establish. So why don't we go ahead and kind of actually starting where we left off. We understand that Jessie has the negative connection with Nox.
Hmm.
And of course, there's the positive connection between Skittles and Jess's character. Skittles, is there anything further you'd like to add about your character?
I got the picture to work.
All right.
I will have my picture
So cool.
of my rangers like next week. But hey, Brad, how do you want our characters to have like met each other?
That's probably something we'll figure out session 1, huh?
No, like right now, that's the whole point of session 0. Figuring out like Because having a positive connection or a negative connection means that your characters have met in some regard already, and whether or not your characters continue and enter today the session 1 already together, that's kind of the whole point of like whether or not their positive connection would lend them to that. So, like for example, yeah, go ahead, you do.
Okay. Damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Thanks, Z. Thanks, Z. Right.
Because he does like
Oh,
travel
shit.
now because he's a grown adult, and he met Red when she was under the curse, and he's like, yeah, go adventure and whatever, and sell actually sell it to me, and I'll keep going, and you'll be like the main benefactor when you come back.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? I spaced out for a second.
He's like, hey, actually sell all your stuff to me and go off on this thing because you've been looking for a way to kill what your family's done to you. Just sell it to me and I'll just hold the fort. And when you come back, we'll talk it out later. He's a very chill man, a little bit on the grumpy side, but he's like, I'll just take what the punches go and go on with it.
Good. The punches say that we are spreading the good word of Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just waddles in here and he saw, like, a freak, like, he got his hands on an egg and he's like, oh, mine now.
Just probably recognizing, like, oh, this is some kind of metallic dragon egg, most likely. You have been blessed by Bahamut. We should be partners and spread the word of Bahamut together. And also get your goal done of, having all these animals there.
I mean,
Is it painted?
And keep my promise to my friend out. Yeah, you can do that. I'll set up a little preach area for you.
We'd be preaching.
I mean,
It is okay to spread the
that's
word
your
of Bahamut.
thing.
Normally, most humanoids don't like worship them unless, of course, they're like dragonborn or kobolds already, or people who revere the dragons in higher regard. So, yeah.
Worship the dragon.
But I'm a Drake, but I'm trying to like feed my Drake. Just take care of animals for my family when they're not available. And now I have a shop to run. Great.
Yeah, there is a lot of things that might stop you from going out on an adventure.
I mean, the shop to run is like pretty much up and go kind of thing.
Right, but like,
Then
how would you? I think already coming in, let's go ahead and discuss character limits. Like, for example, there were certain things I had to discuss to let you guys know that maybe your character doesn't run a shop, but you are in connection to the person who runs the shop. Because usually running a shop means that you have a good connection of finances. People who run shops have more resources available to them, but you guys are still third level characters. You have enough adventuring within you to know how to like start, but you're still third level adventurers. You're still babies in the adventuring world. So understanding that, like, for example, Talion, if you don't mind, I would love to discuss like how we adjusted your backstory.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like for example, one of the things was talking to Talion. He wanted to be someone who, yeah, it was almost like a whole different character. He explained how like his family was a noble, were nobles. They had a coup against them, and I was like, okay, let's pull back. Being nobility versus being royalty. Nobility is more like rich versus royalty, which is actual rulership. Though I try my best to avoid player characters involved in royalty because that tends to mess with a lot of like story and world building stuff. So having your character come from a well-off family is definitely easier than writing off that your character is the prince of a royalty family that everyone overthrew us, and now I'm back to being struggling. So we talked it down, and rather than being noble from the actual capital city, because there's a great difference being a noble in the capital versus a noble in one of the other regions, we took it down to being a noble within one of the other regions. And because there was a far enough area, hey everyone, good thing to know actually while I explain this, trains exist in this entire setting. Because it's a snow-based setting and very technologically advanced, transportation was actually really well adjusted. There are trains that run through the different regions within the smaller towns. Travel is much faster in this and less encounter-based. And at the same time, the major cities themselves are within domes because this country is known for its constant blizzards. So the domes not only provide protection from the blizzards, but also insulated heat to make it so they almost never really experience weather. It's kind of weird to say sheltered or not, but still there are sometimes you have to take account for, hey, it's not like our people don't know how to adapt to the snow. We in fact actually have like the clothes, we have the survival gear, and there are some people who still prefer to live outside of the snow, outside of the domes.
Like my people who prefers to stay out, but they do know how to get inside the cities.
Right. Well, it's not even a matter of getting knowing how to get inside the city. It's just people are permitted to enter the cities, especially during times of crisis. The cities open their borders, albeit checking people first before letting them in a crisis situation.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it probably because a lot of tech. There are only 3 countries in the world that actually are extremely technological advanced. It could even be that like Dr. Andromeda, or in this case, Tabius, came from one of these countries.
Tabius? Oh.
Yeah, you know, Tabius, the one who would never betray the party.
And he never did, and he never would.
Yeah, exactly. See?
I'll kill Tavius one day.
One day.
One day.
Bread told me something earlier today and made me laugh because he's like, you guys completely forgot to Fortnite dance on Dr. Andromeda's grave.
Did forget.
Yeah.
We did it to Tiamat after we beat her in like 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
I mean, that was down for the count, so.
That's true.
I was thinking of them from, what's that game, Friday the 13th? And they just fucking California dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bro, that's Chad.
Yeah.
Hey, how come only Bread's actual picture got posted up there? Where's ours?
Oh, that's because Bread insisted you pull it. But yeah.
Fine. Yeah, looks like a motley crew, but you see so myself.
Yeah, see, there's the whole party, guys. Look at them all. We have Blep. We have Blop. It's Blep and Blop.
Little baby.
Yeah. It's Jod and Nox.
Oh, this is horrifying.
And then we have Edgy Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Turn my back. Like, help! For the love of God!
So, you should draw a Sigma male face on Jod.
No. So, yeah. That's let's go ahead and bounce off since we had those. Does anyone else want to speak up about their negative connection that they would like to establish now? Because now is the time to be discussing this stuff.
Yeah, wait, who would I have a negative connection with?
Well, here, let's take a look. So we already know that, for example, Jessie and Ryvr have negative connections to each other. Talion, Bread, Skittles is right now serving food right now. But, like, do you guys have negative connections?
I got no idea for what I want mine to be too. I need to think about it.
So,
Hated your noble family. They were just rich and I didn't like them.
Honestly.
Bread, like, literally the negative connect. I saw you on the corner of the... It's the whole, like, I saw you on the corner of the street, you looked rich, I didn't like you, the end.
Bread, the average neo-Soviet. Oh wait, I got one. What if we attended that commoner school together, and when I showed up after being exiled from nobility, you just really hated me for coming from somewhere with like
More money.
More money.
I would not have been at that school.
Fair enough.
I actually would not have lived on this continent at all. and am mostly just visiting when I meet Melidan.
Hmm. He goes with the backpack.
And
Melidan had a lot of room in
Falzen
their
was
backpack.
homeschooled because his family travels.
Yeah, so yeah, with Melidan it made sense.
Just cod piece from a different angle.
What is
Yeah,
disturbing?
It was gonna be Stiver's parole officer. It was gonna be funny. I had that one thought out. I need a new one now.
You just tossed it out there.
I did just toss it out there, but I was also thinking about it just since then. I was like, huh, this is gonna be really funny. Oh, who's the Chad?
Nice.
Nice.
See, there we go. That fixes it.
Not really.
So true. Automatically.
Look at that. See, isn't that better, Talion?
At least he still got the
Oh,
copies.
yes.
Particular cancer. What the fuck?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
We
so,
both dancing out here.
now is the time to discuss negative connection. And, you know, whether or not you're like,
But I hate everybody.
you hate everyone, so that's just it. The negative connection is everyone.
Yeah.
Just
Alright.
kill everybody.
You know,
What?
No.
Me and Skittles, our ideologies, I think, clash like really heavily, and I think that alone make us the most negative connection.
If anything,
Just
I
from
would.
you hating everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you guys recall, I have already explained before that negative connections and positive connections, it can be something really well established versus something small that still ties your characters together.
Yeah. Who
Can't
doesn't
eat.
have a negative connection?
Well, it sounds like. I'm assuming that like Brett, was that like an actual like you want to establish a negative connection with Skittles or
Yeah, I like that more.
Alright.
That makes sense for me.
which?
All right.
Skittles is
How though?
Yeah, here. Let's talk about this a little bit, and then it's pretty like as much as it's like, hey, look, by default, that means Talon and Melidan will have a negative connection. But first, let's discuss Skittles and Brett.
All right. So.
Right.
I am Shadarkai.
Yes.
You are a
I'm not
kobold.
racist.
I have no reason to hate you. I am not racist either. I am also on a
We
path
are
to
not
redemption.
racist.
Like
We've
I am
established this.
at my most evil. I am pretty neutral. So
okay.
like
Yeah.
I don't have it in me to hate, which is why I'm like struggling. I'm like I don't. Do you want to
It
just owe
doesn't
me
have to
like
stay
5
negative
gold
the
or
whole
something?
time.
Like,
you know,
yeah,
this is
you're the
something
kobold that owes me 5 gold. Get back here, you little shit. Ah! You know, I have no idea what to do.
The campaign will end when he finally gives you 5 gold.
Oh yeah.
All
the
right.
campaign ends.
I love it.
Well, what do you think, Brett?
We've established that our hatred will not be race-based.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Nobody here is racist.
Mm-hmm,
I think.
exactly.
Talion,
Like,
why did
for
you
me,
unmute?
I'm a very progressive person. I'm not racist. I just hate every race equally.
Interesting thoughts.
Be progressive.
We will be adjusting this. Talion, you will be sent to the cringe zone.
Why be racist when you can hate everyone equally? Am I right? No, satyrs don't have anything against it.
Here's what I can do. Because she was a mercenary commander with backstory and ties to that, I could be offended by a lot of things. But the one backing incident that put me on this path, how about like the opposing army were followers of Bahamut, or claimed to be. Therefore, you represent everything that I am trying to escape from, redeem myself from, etc.
Not bad. I like the idea of like, I like
It's
the
not
idea
like
of
a
like
direct
false.
hatred, it's like indirect.
Mhm.
Finish your bite and then talk.
Oh, there you go. So
I was also thinking like indirect that I wouldn't like a mercenary group, and finding out that you have co-founded a mercenary group just wouldn't sit right with me.
It doesn't vibe with your super militaristic style. Like what?
Like Raggu is big on redemption, but there's also part of Raggu that's like you indirectly have caused hundreds and possibly thousands of deaths,
Yes, and I got paid well for it.
and you benefited from that. But like just crushing the weak for money is something that Raggu is extremely against.
That's
It's a
okay.
very,
We can
like,
roleplay
dramatic
this and argue about it like constantly because I got logic for days.
right, and this is good stuff
We
to be
both
working with.
high intelligence characters.
So then, with that, let's go ahead and like have that be something to work on right now. Talion and Melidan. This leaves the fact that as much as it is a default thing, you two still have not have a negative connection established. So it's time to make one.
Works with me.
You stole some feed from my herd, and I just went like, bitch.
Jod wouldn't steal. He's got no need to. He's hard. He is very against stealing. He's got the mindset of why steal when you can just buy it like a normal person, you know?
I mean, when he was like exiled into the mountains.
Exactly. He just used his own money. He's like, oh, just buy things. Peasants. Imagine stealing.
Maybe that. Maybe
Yeah.
that.
Think of points once again,
Rude-
because one of the
rude-ass
things
customer.
One of the things to also establish once is your characters don't have to have overarching negative like here's a whole like two paragraph thing as to like how our negative backstories work. Having any sort of connection, like as much as Skittles joked about it, even something as simple as hey, you owe me 5 gold. That's something that when your characters meet, it's something that is to establish a pre-existing relationship.
Okay. How about you were like a rude ass customer to him?
Probably. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, you were like a rude ass customer, and he's like, "Have a nice day." And one
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Back when he was still nobility, he stopped by your shop to get a bunch of feed for his like some of the farmland that his family owned.
Mhm.
And when he went over there, he scoffed at the quality of it because it wasn't like top capital grade feed.
And he's over here like, bitch.
Yeah, and he scoffed at it, and he gave it an extremely bad rep, like tons of bad reviews in town and whatnot.
Yeah, and he legitimately does not like him because of that, because he
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
crippled his family.
Crippled business. All right, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got it there.
Yeah, let's go.
Jod walks in, breaks a few things with the third leg, and there we go. I'm kidding. But
I'll be like, terrible.
negative connections and positive connections established. Let's go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about Jessie. Pulling it up right now. Actually, this is one of the few constants I gave a description. Alright. A land of extreme cold, high mountains, and freezing forests, Jessie is home to most avian and fey races such as the Aracora, Kenku, Owlfolk, Rabbitfolk, and Satyrs. As one of the 3 countries with the Coalition of Magic, they have some of the most advanced technology in the world, with one of their most iconic creations being steam bubbles, devices that not only allow for flight even in the coldest winds, but also provide sheltered domes that can withstand the harshest blizzards. So it's strange to say, it's like, hey, we have insulated heat as our biggest innovation, which is very huge in a land that is almost all constantly like with blizzards, with intense winds. The mountains are very unforgiving here, and
Big
just as
legs.
much like people can also, there's stories of people who get lost in the forest too. You know, fun things like that. So if your character is of some sort of Fey descent, it is possible that your character originated from this place. Having your character travel to this location also makes sense. And of course, just because your character is a Fey race doesn't mean that they did not come from here, but it definitely has history steeped into Fey and avian races. Other than that, this campaign is very much like, I believe anyone who's seen the other campaigns knows that one of the biggest common things is that there's a lot of travel within my campaigns. Sometimes travel can be extremely long, especially with locations that don't have transportation, such as the trains you guys will be getting here. This is pretty nice to know that encounters are not probably going to be your dangerous threat, more than the connections you establish here. In a society where technology is so advanced that they can bypass most of the dangers, the danger does not come from outside but from within. Roleplay heavy campaign. There is going to be some moments where you guys will have to make some pretty harsh decisions. And at the same time, as much as it is roleplay based, that does not mean we are completely deprived of combat. There are still some mysteries to solve, and of course, there's also the Sith, who will not be told until you guys encounter them in the campaign. And that's if you guys even know if you're encountering them. This is probably the one hint I will give is that this is the most. This is probably the most psychological sin. The one that's really going to affect mental states. Knows how to really use their words. There's a lot of really weird things to be established. And on top of this, for a lot of people who don't know, my sins are labeled weird. Like, for example, Grok, the Sin of Wrath, is a barbarian, but they're not known for their anger more than the anger that they instill in others. Xenolich is very obvious. He's prideful himself, but even with that pride, he believes that no humanoid should deserve to exist because of the fact that they're just not good people. And so, let's take, for example, the Sin of Sloth doesn't even have to necessarily be someone who is lazy or depressed. It could be something that they instill in others, or maybe something that being around them instills in the environment. There's so much that can be twisted. I like, for anyone who don't know, one of my favorite pieces of literature is One Piece, and in One Piece there's a lot of wordplay. So taking the idea of even something like, hey, here's the Sin of Lust, that does not mean we are expecting not safe for work stuff. It just means that you have to really think outside the box with what I'm referring to by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Don't worry, Ted, it is not safe for work stuff. We would never change that.
Yeah. Though, this campaign, because it's roleplay based, and I might throw in a little bit of spicy content here. Might push my boundaries with Twitch.
Spicy! Fuck yes!
Let's go!
Perfect character for spicy. Let's
I
go.
did too. Big
Granted.
jawed.
Granted, at the end of the day, we still.
Yes, we need to roll for size again. Oh,
You know what? Okay, you know what? Hold on. Here, I'll allow this. This is the way it works. I've always had it that if you are a male character, or born male but identify as female, whatever have you, if you have the ability to have a schlong, you can roll for it.
Yes.
I can buy one, so I'm gonna roll for it.
Wait,
So,
I
here.
can do
Wait, you can buy what?
So allow me to explain.
Run that one back.
So it's a very simple and straightforward process. If you have the ability to have one, length is 1d8 plus 4.
Oh no!
Girth is 1d4 minimal 2.
Do we get
Except
bonus
we
to the
had
charisma modifier?
small size and large size where
Oh, yeah.
there was a negative and there was a positive to the size difference also. If you're just a medium creature, that's low.
Yes, that's also very important to know. If you are someone who is a larger creature, which means that to know if you're a larger creature, your race needs to have the ability that says you have the carrying capacity of a larger creature. Like, for example, Gif, Goliaths, Minotaurs. These are example.
Capacity.
Yeah. So
Also, Minotaur is not an example. They did not get that trait.
All right, what was the second one?
1d4 minimal 2. So right there, in D&D roll, we know that Skittles rolled a 7 and...
1d8?
Hold on. And a 4. Wow.
He fucking.
No! No!
And so, for that,
I wanna
remember,
roll.
yeah, if you want to, Jesse
Boy.
wants to roll next. 1d8 plus 4, and then 1d4 minimal 2.
All right. Loading
Let's go.
1d4. Sorry, 1d8.
Plus 4.
If it's shameful, we
Damn.
won't say it out loud. I promise.
Oh yeah.
4, 7.
7.
This is why I give. This is why I do minimals. By the way, there's a reason why, like, hey, plus 4 to that is pretty nice, and a minimal of 2 for the other is also pretty nice.
10.
Wait, okay, as a changeling, I feel like I should be able to control how
Here.
big I want to make my metaphorical penis.
So right there, let me go ahead and just start with like, how do I pronounce your name, Jesse?
That's a good question. I've been pronouncing it as Lyuna,
Lyuna?
but it is it's also a version
way
of
that-
Leona.
Oh, if anything, I would probably like this is more of a personal thing. You obviously know how to pronounce your own name. I probably would have put like an apostrophe in between the I and U. Wow, did I really? I and U. Yeah, no, it's the I and U. Lyuna.
Lyuna.
Yeah. So for example, that is 8. That's 7. That's 7 and 2.
Cool.
And then from
Take it.
here,
Nice.
Falzen, which is who was?
Ben.
Oh, hold on. You are Goliath, Missy. You actually have a
Yeah.
different role. You do.
Wait, what?
You
role did I do?
you're Goliath. You're bigger. So
Big boy.
you, instead of a plus 4, it's a plus 6, and the minimal for you is 3. For the other,
So
12
I
and
got
3.
a 12 and a 6.
Yeah, 12 and 3, because the other 12 and 3. There you go.
Another, this fucking Pringles can. That's what that is.
Yeah, right. Here, so Ryvr, I would 100% say that as a changeling, you have the ability to choose. You can, so long, but as a medium-sized character, you still have to stick to the limitations that medium-sized characters do.
To the left.
I'm not gonna have a horse cock as a medium size. No.
Simply change into a penis.
Change it, become peace.
Oh, okay. Just so we know everybody again. Just introduce. Can we introduce ourselves, our race, and our everything?
Yeah, that's actually a
real
good
quick?
idea.
And
Here, let me.
preferred pronouns and everything. So
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me go ahead and do this. We'll start from left to right on the stream. Talion,
Okay.
please give us name, race, and pronouns that your character would like to go by, as well as once again, the name that you give us is the name that is going to be presented, like as far as like pronunciation and such goes.
Alrighty. Jod, he's a centaur, and he's a dude. He, him.
I have
So much
Jod.
enthusiasm.
Yeah. Name patent pending. Might find a better, like, satyr suited name. That was just the first one that popped in my mind.
Alright, I have Jod. It looks very funny on the stream. I like it.
I know. I'll probably be getting a different one, but the
Alright.
name on the stream does look pretty fucking funny, so maybe not.
And Ryvr.
Hello, Nox, and the changeling trickster cleric, and they go by they them. So honestly, anything you find you relate to them more is acceptable.
Understandable. Skittles.
This is Rohes, Grizell, or Ro, or Ms. Grizz, and Ms. is MX, by the way, because yes, they are gender fluid. They do not care what you call them. They are female presenting, so a lot of the times you'll hear me say she, her, they. So, I do not care. Call me sir or ma'am.
Daddy.
Zeddy with a Z.
Zaddy, let's go.
Always call me Zeddy.
Zeddy. I can. Well, so what do we want it like with the zombie? If you wanted to do the other one, zombie. Okay. Just want to make that clear. Just wanna...
Hell yeah.
She is a Shadar Kai, so her skin tone is like it's Fey touched
Gray.
drow elf, basically.
Oh, interesting. Smash.
Yes.
So
After I get the names, I'm gonna start working on the actual images, because once again we're in a dynamic setup. Everyone, I can change the things on the fly. Like right now, you can see your names are changing. I can change the images on the fly too.
There you go. That's what you should refer. Mazady.
Milady. Tips Eldritch Abomination Horror hat. Jessie. Once again, name, race, pronouns, and proper pronunciation.
It's gonna be Lyuna. She is a half elf, and her pronouns are gonna be she, her.
Wonderful. I'm right now just adjusting the positioning of your name, which should be good right now. Yep. Alright. Melidan.
Mine is a Goliath Ranger. His name is Falzen, and pronouns are he, him.
I like how different everyone is. It's very nice.
Alright. And Red.
Bread.
Tell us more. Give us the sauce. Give us the sauce.
I'm eating ravioli right now. Thanks for the sauce.
Ravioli.
Raggu, he, him, wizard, kobold.
Very nice.
Well, he's got 2 levels in artificer right now, but it's pretty much gonna be mostly wizard.
Okay. I'm right now doing the images as we speak. But this is still pretty good. Let me go ahead and just start, like, you know what? This is a pretty good Session 0 thing. This is something for any DM out there to understand. Session 0s are very important. Once again, it establishes the tone of the setting, what players can expect from it, but also what DMs should do to make sure that their players are comfortable. Let's go ahead, and this is always a very good topic to discuss. What are things that you guys don't want to see in the campaign? Understand that while this is definitely going to my world making as well as storytelling, the main thing about this is that I don't want to tell a story that triggers something in you guys. I don't want to tell a story that like makes you really like reel in, unless for said desired effect. I've had some people who like really like go through like oh fuck, that really hit me really hard because it was very emotional.
Oh my god. Fanatical, if you're listening, we love you. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna recall because that hurts so bad. He was piloting our land vehicle over some pretty snowy thing. And he failed one of his skill checks, so an event happened. This event happened to be, you hit something. We get out, and it turns out it's a baby Yeti. And he goes dead silent for minutes. It turns out he had something happen in his past that was very similar. And he absolutely he shut down. And it was, oh man, I feel so bad.
Yep.
But we were able to identify the problem quickly and move on. It was just, we need to, it's good to know. Yeah. It's good to know. So that kind of stuff that happens that you don't really think about, that isn't like major traumatic events, but maybe just little things that will set you off is probably something to consider.
For me personally, I have 0 trauma. Everything is okay. Fucking go for it. I do not give 2 shits.
And that's good. Some people don't really have anything in their past that would trigger such a thing. And as much as it's one of those things where, hey, there's a lot to work around with that, it's still something nice to know. So yeah,
me
go for it.
personally, if someone says, like in the when you have a a mental disability, people call you the R word, that would trigger me personally.
Yeah, that is almost immediate kick ban for the server and for the chat. So that is hopefully never ever something we'll come across. And if you do, please let us know.
100%. Everyone. As your DM, understand that I am your guys' biggest advocate. If someone is making you uncomfortable, I will always be your biggest shield and your biggest spear.
Okay, cool. And for like forever reference, all my characters are on the spectrum. That's why like you saw Red being like all awkward and being shit and do shit because no one was able to like help her understand that she is autistic. All of them are like
Understandable. Definitely a word that we already have, but still good to be reminded that we do not stand for any bigotry, for any assholeness, for anything that is ever targeting or harming one of my players physically or mentally.
Which means there has to be a damn good reason and a discussion before we use any of these kind of like standard don't touch them subjects, gamer words, and like stances on stuff. Like that's always gonna be a no. So besides that stuff, what he's trying to ask for is like the little other triggering events. Like, oh, my balloon popped when I was 6 years old, and I remember that, and it was like a traumatic childhood thing. Like, he won't pop a balloon in your face.
okay.
Yeah, we won't walk up, pop a balloon, and say, haha, nerd.
But like standard, regular human decency, please expect this.
Well, I do have like certain like as long as like it doesn't get too loud, I'm fine. If I go silent, it's just like I'm just gonna recuperate and then just come back because I work in a loud environment all day.
Where do you work? I'm actually curious. I don't think we've ever asked.
You don't have to say that on stream either because we are live.
Oh yeah, that's right. What do you work as? Better question. I don't need to know where you work.
I'm a jewelry apprentice.
That's right. Shit, I did know that. Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
Cal, way to know your fellow players, insensitive asshole.
And you're finishing and you're finishing your residency right now, right?
Yeah.
Nerds.
Don't know what you're talking about. Never picked up a book in my life.
For me
Definitely.
personally, I think as long as I have some kind of warning that something big is about to go down, most everything I'm fine with in a story setting.
Yeah, same.
Everything I've seen so much dumb shit from people.
Yeah, no, me too. I've seen too much dumb shit in my life to really be in this sort of setting anyway. If it were happening to me like in the same room in my face, that'd probably be a different story. But through D&D, I feel like it's very good padding for me personally. I'm not saying for everybody else, but for me, it's got a good filter there that I can. I'm not in any danger, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as there's a little tiny flag, it's like, hey, get your sensors up, it's coming. I'll be all right.
Yeah, same.
Don't need
If anything,
warning,
as
just
well.
go for it.
One other thing is also very good to let's also address if you also have a, let's say for example, something that might be triggering. It is also very good to know whether or not you are willing to have it with a prologue, like, hey, warning, by the way, this is warning for anyone who has this specific trigger, and then proceeding to it, or if you completely are, I don't want to see it at all. Like that should be something that's noted. If there are people who are comfortable in, like, I guess what we're pointing out in the right in different contexts, certain things for like story aspects make sense. But if it's something you don't want to see at all, that's also something that should be stated. Comfortability with said trigger is a weird thing to say, but it's also good to know for like as a group. Anyone else?
I just really hate gnomes. Because one of our friends used to be completely fucking racist against gnomes, and I feel like I need to carry that torch.
Solid. I mean, honestly, I myself not a racist person, not a racist character. Like I like all races, even the bad ones. You know, just be.
No, you're just elitist. It's not a race thing. It's an elitist thing.
God likes all
Gnomes
races,
are
even
my
the bad
favorite.
ones.
Even
Yeah,
fuck you,
kidding.
bro.
I fucking love gnomes. They're great. But yeah,
Especially
I was
like
trying to break
goblins.
the tension.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like yeah, exactly. Like I said, even the bad ones. You know, like all
Even the
races.
Shut up, dude. Nobody cares about your opinion anymore.
Ouch. Oof.
Jod
I
is
prefer, like,
better.
goblins.
Jod is elite. Jod is noble. Jod has.
No. That's the kind of character we're playing, huh?
Oh man, I can't wait for your I guess character development. We'll see where you go,
I don't
Mister.
know. Jod's character development is gonna be great. It's gonna be funny as fuck.
Yeah.
For the time being, Melidan as well. I have Red's character image up. Let me know as soon as possible when you have the new one, and we can actually set that up. Okay.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna spam it inside the DG images. Like, look! Got it! I'm all happy. The serotonin.
So, Skittles, when you were creating your character, were you specifically were you basing it off of Lynn, off of Avatar?
Yes, absolutely was. I needed like a grizzled old commander lady. I was like, oh yeah, that's totally fucking Lind Toph's daughter. Like, yes.
Yeah, that's
That's
basic.
crazy.
Because you were thinking about you were thinking heavily about Korra. Yeah,
Yeah.
we found
That's
this out. We're like,
awesome.
fuck yeah,
Yes.
we're on the same page.
Side note.
That's
Same
so
brainwave.
funny. I can't believe that happened.
Side note. I like the idea of putting Raggu as like he's too short to actually reach his fucking like image. If you're seeing it, Brett, do you see that?
It's like Mike Wazowski with the
His face keeps getting covered by random shit.
And then just Falzen just like lifts his ass and like, all right, here you go.
Raggu's gonna look like a staff the whole time.
So funny.
you can see the top of his head.
Yeah, see, you can see the top of it. I will allow you to make that call whether or not you actually want that to be the joke, Red, or you would like to actually have your character's head.
Uh-huh.
Are you looking at the stream to see how your character portrait looks?
No, I'm watching the stream share. I'm not at home right now, so I don't have access to my like.
Oh, here, actually, let me do this for you then.
Someone take a screenshot.
No, actually, I can do this.
I do have a
It's fucking
question.
amazing.
There we go. Red,
What?
look at that. Raggu could be something that's like literally just like a little too small to actually reach the fucking proper height for even the stream.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of funny. I'll accept it.
You'll accept it?
I'll accept it.
And Falzen is probably the tallest motherfucker out of all of them.
Well, I would hope so. He was like a mini Goliath. You're just a normal sized person.
The shortest that Goliaths go is 6 feet. Like they go from 6 to 8.
Yeah, it's pretty tall. I don't know. I'm very short, so everything is tall to me always. It's tall people land, so I don't know about that.
I am the representative of Tall People Land. It is very fun being
you
6 foot.
know.
I like being big people.
It is very fun being one of the. I know it's for the sake of the meme, but I'm like I am the 6 foot plus club.
Are you really though?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh. I'm actually curious. Are you sick? I'm gonna take a guess.
He's
I'm gonna
6
do
foot even.
6. Oh,
Sorry,
fuck.
I just
I
fucking
was
busted
way
for
off.
you.
I was
Yes.
going for 6'3". that was off.
He's got really long arms too, so it's great. He is tall people land expert.
Skittles sees it. I like to do the wacky inflatable tube R-Man thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very funny when you also have tall, lanky person who does the bird of paradise dances.
Yes, are you gonna twerk on camera?
Let's see. So, let's go ahead and then have. Here's a good one as well. What is something you guys are hoping to see in this campaign? Part of this question is not just relating to like, hey, I'm really excited because I get to see this, but character growth is something that people don't really think about, and they kind of want the campaign to let it unfold. But thinking about where do you see your character by the end of the campaign? That's something that's really huge into this, because it allows for certain story beats to really hit that much harder when you're realizing that, hey, this is an opportunity for your character to grow into the person that they can be. So
yeah, like I have a plan for my character already.
Where do you see John at the end of the adventure? And for anyone, you cannot say dead.
Yeah. So for my thing, yeah, for my thing, my biggest idea behind it is, Jod coming from noble house, and he obviously gets blessed by a divine nature, and as he goes kind of throughout, he becomes more and more appreciative of what he has and the insane opportunities that he's been given. So he'll eventually grow a lot less narcissistic, a lot kinder, and a lot more generous. And by the time he's 14th level, which divine soul sorcerers get their angel wings at that level, he will sort of have completed his character transition arc into like a good person, and it's like, oh, I'm a good person now. Here's angel wings. You're ready to descend whenever the hell you die. And
100% understanding that so for anyone wondering, when I say long campaign, your campaign can end anywhere from level 18 to 20. Primarily, probably you're gonna see me shoot for level 18. Because level 8, by the time you're level 16 with talents, you're actually as powerful as a level 20 character.
Mm-hmm.
So, understanding that level 18 pushes you to a level beyond 20. And especially because by 18, you get your final talent, which is another huge step forward.
It's even further beyond.
Exactly. The way the books actually say, for every 4 levels your character is considered 1 level higher. So that puts it that level 20 characters are treated as level 25, which is unheard of in D&D. But for the understanding how talents work, it's so important to do that when you're making like a full party of, hey, what if we did a full party of level 20s with talents? That's pretty absurd. So even like level 18 is like, that's 4 extra levels. That's level 22. So that's a nice little like, hey, we're getting closer to that sweet spot where your characters are beyond powerful and are considered like really like extremely powerful entities within the world. For example, I can't imagine numbers actually beating the god already at level 20, but like level 20 without talents is a whole nother thing in itself. Right? Like, could you actually picture numbers standing up to the god of war at level 20 without talents?
No.
I have a question. Kind of like you did with the devil fruit in the previous homebrew world. Would there be a mechanic to be like, you can take talents if you would want to only get to a certain level, or you can not do that and progress all the way to 20?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I would allow that. I think that if you want to forego talents, so let's say by the time you are level 18, you have an option you can do here. You can forego 2 talents to know that you can move beyond level 20, to actually hit level 20. This is very important for balancing capabilities. It is, it's something that, hey, a few of our people were already running without like full 7 talents without our full 6 talents by the end of the last campaign, which you'll notice, while fairly strong, it's not like they weren't incapable of taking care of themselves.
Yeah. Also, we've noticed like you run out after, I think, 14th level. It starts to peter off into like, okay, what do I take next? So having that option available to forego that and keep going to 20, especially for me because I'm playing Paladin, I want to experience a full level 20 Paladin because I don't play these classes and I want to.
Yeah, especially because like level 20 is pretty crazy. Some classes get really powerful at Nat 20, who would have guessed? But Paladins specifically, all of them get their final subclass ability, which is always some sort of transformation. But let's go ahead and I would like to hear, Nox, what would be, or yeah, Ryvr, what would be something you're expecting from this campaign, especially like character growth wise, or like overall like story beats?
Nox is very much my reflection on self-worth character. That is something that they grew around as an idea, and even though their personality probably be a lot more outgoing than Gwyn ever could have been, there's not a lot of value that they hold to themselves. And so I guess what I hope for them is to one day be comfortable enough to allow somebody else to see who they truly are. Because they are layers. There's so many, and they're actually a very prolific liar. I will tell you.
So is it better to say it?
They lie about the littlest things too.
So is it better for me to use an onion analogy or a Tootsie Pop analogy for you?
Oh man, I probably like a Tootsie Pop that has an onion inside of it. Or
I like it.
Whichever one you want. But yeah, I hope that whoever it may be, whether it's finding redemption with Jess's character or reconciling something with Talion's character, anybody, that they feel finally comfortable enough to be themselves, really be themselves. No more lies, no more transformations, not a changeling. They don't know who they are right now because they have been everyone.
So you're going through red.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Well, you know, we're not ever like saying, oh, you're playing this character. It's definitely like hey, we're watching people unfold their characters in their own regard.
Oh no, it's like it's different.
Yeah,
She never went through an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Right. And so, Skittles or Rohes?
It's Roheus, and you just say Ro, Grizz, or Ms. Grizz.
Got it. Row your boat.
Mick Griddle.
Ooh,
McGriddle.
I will accept this as well.
So Ro, what is it that you would like to see story beat wise, character progression? Where do you see your character by the end of the campaign?
Well, starting out as Oathbreaker, I had a very clear, I want to Path of Redemption. I want to become the Redemption Paladin by the end of the campaign. There is backstory reasons behind that, and a lot of it is she feels very much like she needs to balance out, excuse me, the debt of lives that had been taken due to the specific event that happened. So her path is very much going to be she's taking it very seriously, and I hope having Lyuna and others around that are more lighthearted and can teach her to be friendlier and more carefree and open up more to the world and those around to, share in the experience as part of redemption.
All right. Well, I love me Redemption Paladin arcs. Redemption Paladins are very cool. Oathbreaker transformations are already inherently good.
Yeah, but it's usually the other way around, and I was really digging the idea of starting from that point and then going.
Because it's yeah, it's one of those things where it's always something to be. I see so many players who I want to become an Oathbreaker. I'm gonna break into that, and they find their ways to corrupt their character. But usually, for me, once again, in my stories, I very rarely like to see player characters go bad, in a sense, or do something that's just inherently you are breaking morals that I myself would not like to see in the campaign. So, for example, Tabius, notice how like never at any point would we like set Tabius up as they were in the after credit stuff, because that's just not something I want to see in the campaign. Same thing with like if I had a paladin who's like, I want to go through a process where I break an oath. Unless it's a major story beat that I would approve of, I typically want to see my characters do good. I don't like that's the whole point. You guys are heroes in a story. You guys are the protagonists, not antagonists.
Too bad. Evil campaign time.
Evil campaign time. Lyuna, what about you? Expectations, goals?
I think what I'm thinking, like what I kind of want to see from her is, I'm picturing her as very like hot-headed, act first, think later type of character.
Mhm.
And I want to see her become more wise. Like take a second to like consider all options instead of running in head first. Which I feel like is one of her biggest things right now.
Oh, I can already see something working with that. There's usually a very easy way to teach a rash character how to think about their actions.
Yeah, very
Oh, trauma.
I know. You said that.
the more you know.
Safe word.
Oh, I'm not smiling towards the camera on stream. What are you talking about?
No. Put that smile away, young man.
Yeah, I think that's where I want to see for this character, because she like I do tend to play like very upbeat characters. This one in particular, instead of necessarily being a love everybody, I think she mostly wants to. She's very selfish at the moment, I feel, and I want to see if she can grow out of that.
Let's see if we can change that.
Nox can help her grow out of stuff.
Nox the bitch.
And so, Falzen, what about you? Character goals? Anything you're expecting?
For him to not be more comfortable interacting with people more often and animals, because he spent most of his life like raising and taking care of animals and like, you know, being their friend, and he never really exposed himself to a lot of people, even when he was being a supplier or merchant for Red. That was only temporary, and it wasn't for very long. And his goals, he wants to actually like make them come to reality. He's not a very ambitious guy, but this is the first time he's actually held an ambition of his, and he's going to try and achieve it.
Okay. And so, seeing someone who like probably like, because this sounds almost like a very like, you know, gentle giant situation where like your interactions with most humanoids is very, very small, very quick, very straightforward, and never like enough chit chat time.
Yeah, and he's not a very intimidating man at all. Like when he first gets up, he has resting bitch face syndrome, but when you start talking to him, you see he's like very awkward.
Okay. And then Raggu, what is your where do you see yourself by the end of the campaign? Any story beats you would very much like to see, things character growth wise?
Interesting that you would ask that. We've talked about it.
Though this is session 0, this is a good time to let everyone know. So, as a side note, I think one of the biggest detriments in character, in playing a character, is when you have a thing you're trying to do so badly with your character, but like someone from the campaign doesn't understand that that's what your character is, like that's your character growth that you're trying to achieve, and like buds their head in on it. So, please, Raggu.
I'll be okay keeping it to myself for now. I'm not a villain this time, I promise.
Yeah. I would like to hear a little bit, at least if not that goal, then something else. What character growth wise?
Becoming stronger, I suppose.
Would you say that mentally or purely physically?
Physically, he needs to protect the little guys for
Okay.
reasons.
Yeah, you can protect them if you purchase, mercenary company. They would easily protect them for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about this right now. That's
Are you
section
sure?
1 stuff. Yeah, I have to care about that. McGriddle.
McGriddle. Or we're just gonna go through different McDonald's meals.
All right.
We're gonna have a food name by the time we're done with
I
this
gotta,
thing.
I gotta. He's already a food name,
Yeah,
so that's the problem I'm having.
No, well, see, this is why you take it somewhere else. Like he's not just anybody. Now he is
What's the opposite of pasta sauce? He's a limp noodle. There
he's
you
a
go.
limp noodle. I call bean a nugget.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll put a pin in that.
We'll work on it. We're gonna argue on this more.
Let's go ahead and then see. I've explained the setting. I've explained a little bit about this, though. And even the fact that this is a roleplay campaign, and the villain this time, probably one of the biggest things is like, there's definitely like a theme to this, and I would love to understand that. There was another assignment I gave you all. Your character needs to have a regret that not just any regret, because we all have regrets in our lives, but something that specifically took them to the step that a regret that pushed them forward down the path that they currently are walking. Like, for example, in order for me to have gotten to here, I had to kill my best friend, and that's one of the biggest regrets I had to obtain the position I have now. So, this is something I hope every single one of you has. It is a very huge thing and a very big theme to the campaign. Anyone want to go first?
But what if I want to keep it to myself for plot reasons?
For plot reasons?
Actually, that's true.
Okay, here. This is what I'll do. Can I please have every single one of you send me your regret?
No, sure.
That's a good chat. I'm just kidding.
Obviously, you guys have had a whole week to come up with the regret.
I've already done the thing.
Character already. You already know what my
in D&D
regret is.
general.
Send it to me now.
Well, you sent it to you now. I already sent it to you.
Send it again.
We spoke of it. You making me scroll up.
Done.
Okay. I've seen it. I'm vibing with it.
Yeah, because you said the natives there are Aarakocra, satyrs, and another one?
Feywild and avian races. So Herringon,
Feywild.
satyrs, Aarakocra, Kenku, Owlin. There's so many like avian and like Fey-based races, even fairies as well.
Oh, I thought like Goliaths would also live out there, like in the cold ass mountains.
No, not this specifically. Goliaths are actually categorized under a different style of race. And while yes, it's not to say that Goliaths can't be from up here, there's a much bigger ratio of Goliaths further down south, to like the southern, to like the cold south rather than the cold north.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask you, like, I'm if his family's like, the only one that ever lived out there.
Alright. There we go. I'm seeing this. Thank you, Red, for pinning it. Thank you. See? Wasn't that hard. It's the I have to go around to everyone like, all right, hand in your homework, and meanwhile there's Raggu who like slides his homework like, please don't look at it.
No, I sent in the homework a week ago, and you want me to send a copy in again with the rest of the students.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just like how it worked out and just sent it.
So, this is a good time to re-ask this. are there any questions you guys have about the setting, about the campaign, maybe about anything you would want to know? Like, hey, is there anything about the character that I should have? Character questions, campaign questions, setting questions.
Why are we coming together?
Yeah, that's actually a good one.
That's actually okay. You know what? That's a very good point. So, let's also get the asteroid spider out of the room and explain that.
Asteroid spider?
Yeah, you know, no need to worry about it.
You had Loxodon like right there.
No, I like asteroid spider.
Or like, you know, a cosmic freaking tandem psychic elephant or anything like that.
I love the tandem psychic elephant.
Listen, it's much more awkward when an asteroid spider is in the room than a Loxodon. Loxodon's probably just vibing. But this should be said that one of my biggest things I don't like, especially because not because it's a bad trope, but because it's not done that well. And I always hear the entire like, but I can do it better, I can do it differently. If there's any term I hate hearing is what my character would do. Especially when what your character is doing is driving a wedge in the party.
But what if my character would bomb an orphanage, though? What do we do then?
Well, then simple. I would take your character sheet, delete it, and then delete you.
Damn good roleplay reason for that.
Right. Like, unless it's something that we have all understood that it's not the thing that drives a wedge in the party. It's actually doing something to progress the story rather than, like, pull us back. Your character...
I am progressing the
Oh, God. So, you need to understand that character... the whole point of playing Dungeons & Dragons is that we all know... Like, we as people know that we're playing in a story. We are playing the story, and thus, because of that, our characters should be getting together. However, though, it should still feel fluid. It should still feel like it's coming naturally. Which is why you guys are not starting in a tavern. You guys are starting in a train cart heading between regions, and we're gonna have a little bit of a train murder mystery thing. Something. So I think that, especially for low level adventures, murder mysteries are by far one of my favorite things to do. There's a sense of like you're low enough level that there's a lot of things I can throw at you guys that are pretty scary and intimidating. And at the same time, like you may not have like access to a full arsenal of utility that would just completely bypass most of these at later levels. You know, like at later levels, I cast Foresight, I know who the murderer is, let's move on. Versus I don't have the ability to do that, so I have to rely on my skill checks. And even then, early level skill checks are like at maybe most proficiency 2, 4, 5. Even at most, your proficiency bonus is probably like a +9 or a +8, even and that's including expertise. So it's one of those things where I like providing you with like mental challenges. And murder mysteries are by far one of my favorite things. I like the horror genre a lot, so expect the beginning of our campaign to be pretty scary. And for the most part, let's go ahead and I'm going to ask you guys this question. Would your character afford... I will allow this. Excluding your starting income. This is something that is entirely paid for by roleplay. Does your character afford the private car or the common car? Or does your character choose either or?
Okay, I can answer this easily because I've been thinking about this. She has saved up. She has life savings from her mercenary career, but she's very frugal, so absolutely will choose to go in the common cars.
Very good.
Yeah. Playuna definitely cannot afford a private. She's in the common.
Oh my god, the rich kids want a private car.
I want my character to grow into the common car, basically. I sort of want my character to be a very, very heavy spender with his, like, private assets and stuff. Like, he'll go for the private car and all of this kind of stuff up until, like, I don't know, a few levels down the line, and then he'll figure out that he's fucking broke because he was not careful about his spending, right?
I like this a lot.
Makes sense. That makes
So
sense.
how about this? So here's the way I'm picturing this. Private car, by the way, for anyone wondering, this means that, well, there is an entire train car that like has like rows of seats and is like there for all intents and purposes, the train will have at least these specific carts. One of which is obviously the engine itself, the coal that powers it, or spells in this case. There is the private car sanctum. The private car sanctum is an entire train cart that has its own. If any of you guys have seen, a classic Harry Potter, it is hey, you have two little booths. You have like places to put your luxury up top, and you have even a door that you can close and open. It's still a train, so it's not designed to like be slept in comfortably. You might even sleep sideways on the thing, but regardless, it's still a private car or a private route. But Jod, if you want to go with the idea that your character has spent till they are broke, or at least until they have the money that they have now, how about this? Your character not only has their own private room, you also maybe. We're gonna start off a little spicy. Yeah, we're gonna start off a little spicy. Would you pay for companionship? Would you pay for?
With him. Hold on.
You wouldn't have no.
Would you pay for some of the finer meals?
That's up to you, Talion.
Yeah, once again, Jod.
Talion.
My boy. You are muted.
Get your fuzzy ass back here.
Yes, he's muted. Alright, we understood it, everyone. He actually chose to sleep in the coal cart, and he has the rats to accompany him.
No, just knowing what he's told me about his character, he probably would, more than likely. But don't take my word for it, but I'm guessing he's gonna say yes to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I very much want to understand that, like, hey, here's what's happening for that. It's good to establish settings in that way, because I'm going to take a page from a certain other DM and do a lot of like, hey, it's the first session, we're gonna do spotlights. During this campaign, something I'm going to try to do is letting you guys take a narrative seat is a very huge part, and it helps you guys be like, hey, kind of like if any of you guys have seen the roleplay section of the server, it's okay to take control of some of the situation. It's like being a mini DM within the game. Understanding that, of course, well within reason, you can't say, I waltz in and everyone bows and worships me. Look at this, the confetti blows in my way. It's, hey, so I walk into the cart, there's a bit of companions with me. You can explain their mannerisms towards you. You can even explain like how your character like views even like something as small as like the smell of the cart based off of your experience that you've had, the memories that dwell within you. Having a bit of a narrative lead helps to give you guys the spotlights that you need, especially for the beginning, as well as gives the audience an idea of how your character thinks and talks to themselves.
Because I'm pretty sure he sold it back to Red, so he pretty much gave ownership back to Red, and he's like, oh, I kind of want to head up to this country to look for the spot. And she's like, yeah, bet, you're getting the private car. Say, fuck.
Okay. And so after the private, understand that like your character, like as much as it's understood that you come from a business, the business can't be thriving, Falzen. Or at least it can't be something that you have access to, because once again, you're still a third level adventurer.
No. He doesn't have access to it anymore. And as a party gift, she's like, you're getting a private car whether you like it or not.
Okay. So a benefactor has paid for your private car.
Yep. And
okay.
He's like, bye.
All right.
Talion did confirm that he's being stupid with his money on this part. So he had to step away for something. So he put it in general chat if you want to check on it.
Yes, thank you so much, Nox.
No problem.
So it sounds like you are accompanying Jod in the cart, and
you are. We've been traveling together for the past few weeks since we met up again.
Mm-hmm. Would you? And so that would mean that you, whether or not you you too are stupid with money. You have definitely seen how Jod's payments have
Absolutely fucking not. I've been stealing to get myself by from living. So no, I'm not stupid with him, but I'm letting rich boy suffer his own consequences.
Yep.
I was a rich kid too, and I still know better than he does.
Very nice. Okay, so we already know that the two of you are traveling together.
Yes, I'm gonna let him pay for everything.
Yep. Falzen, because we've established that you and Raggu already have a connection to each other, and since Falzen has a benefactor who's paid for their ticket, this does fall into the whole. I'm curious, did you pay for your ticket accordingly, or did you backpack it? Are you someone who got onto the train not by conventional means?
No, he's very honorable. He would have insisted for a minute that they should be on the public cart and not buy into that because he doesn't like spending his money. But given that it's already paid for, he doesn't want to separate from Melidan. He would, grumble, fine, and pay for it.
Okay, and then you end up with the starting gold. Did you guys pay for anything else? Would any money also be provided? This is also is a question. Well, this is a question for both of you. We obviously know that because it's a benefactor situation. I would like to know a little bit from Falzen. What did your benefactor pay for you? Was it just the train car? Was it the food? Was it companionship like I told for Jod?
Probably paid for the companionship as well and the food because she believes that Falzen deserves at least one time to spoil himself because he doesn't believe he should spoil himself.
Okay. And so then, Ro and Lyuna, I am very glad to hear that the both of you agreed about Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, Ro, did you say common or private? I might have actually put words in your mouth.
I forgot my name for a second. Yes, he said common.
All right. So yes, it's very good to know that Ro and Lyuna are both well within the common cart. And because of backstory reasons in your guys' connections, you two would have common cars. You don't pay for where you're sitting on the train. You just pay for the ticket. You grab a seat. Would you two be sitting next to each other, near?
Lyuna's trying as close as she can. There's a seat available next to Ro, Miss Grizz. She's sitting next to it.
I like the idea of being uncomfortably close. Hold on, I got this.
Just pressing up against her.
Here I'm leaning into the window. She's leaning into me talking. I'm like, okay, I can't go any further.
I'm trying to take a nap here, leave me alone, kid.
I was like, yes. We talked about personal space,
really
haven't we? Okay.
Remember how Miss Girls needs at least a foot around them at all times? This is not a foot. This is
But
definitely...
I need to get ready. If you attack me, I need to close the distance. So
it's tactically. The nonchalant expression is killing me.
I can't. Yeah. I can't fight your logic, so we're just gonna let it be.
Okay.
There you go. Do you guys is that the relationship we're establishing here?
I second.
yeah, I think so.
Essentially, yeah.
I love
That's adorable. I love it so much. You all are so cute.
I think on the extreme side, it's definitely was it Pixie and Brutus? I think I compared it.
Yes.
Pixie and Brutus. Yes. Yeah.
It's the was it
less naive Pixie, more I want to fight.
Oh, hold on. It's the for some reason I'm thinking of the what's it called? The Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If anything happened to this dog, I would murder everyone in this room and then myself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I said, secretly incredibly attached, and would even if she wanted to go sit with the rich people, she wouldn't. She would stay with Lyuna.
Okay. I'm down. I'm different. I'm digging this.
Oh god.
Lyuna comes from, an average household. She's not. I don't think she would be poor or anything, but she's definitely not rich. And if Miss Grizz wanted to sit in a private car, I would be like, okay, when are we leaving? I just need a little bit to save up.
She'd make it work.
And this is also come as well understanding. For anyone wondering, trains are extremely expensive. This is, once again, this is a country where technology has advanced so much that a lot of the issues here is social political hierarchies. There are people who who sometimes can't afford to take the train, and thus begins the ruthless travel of we're wandering down the road while the train zooms past us, and we have to struggle against the forces of nature itself and the constant blizzards that plague the land. That's when you actually see the country and it's like the inhabitants at its truest, most raw form. That's where the Yetis come out. That's where the dire wolves come out. This place is not friendly if you do not have the money to afford it. And this also applies for the fact that some towns don't actually have the money to keep their bubble, their dome, maintained. Sometimes you can go to a town where their dome is purely like, look, the best this thing is doing for us is providing a roof, and even then, that roof's got cracks. It's got like wind that comes through. Like we got a broken down, shitty dome, and you're gonna see like a very like middle class almost doesn't exist in this world. Which, hey, you know, it's not like we're relating it to real life or anything.
We're not. Of course not. No. Yeah, it's totally a fantasy setting with unrealistic scenarios that nobody is totally living out as we speak.
Nobody.
Exactly.
None. It's unheard of.
Listen, I can't afford therapy, okay?
Yeah.
This is therapy. What are you talking about?
That's the yes.
This is why I'm here. I can't afford therapy.
You're preaching to the choir.
This is the all right. Everyone, introduce your character. Hi, Ro.
That's totally what happened. Hi,
Yes.
What's your damage?
Right. This is gonna be fun. I hope you guys are expecting that. And once again, like adding into that, I hate the idea of like if you're someone who's really in love with D&D combat, and you're like, I'm itching for a fight, and it's been like 5 sessions since we had one. The campaign's not devoid of combat. I myself love D&D combat. I like the physical limitations it pushes characters to. At the same time, though, once again, certain campaigns draw for certain things. The last campaign we all partook in, it was very obviously like, well, yes, there's a bit of roleplay when it comes to establishing connections, the political hierarchy, and even like the moral compasses that need to be talked about. There is a lot of combat in the last one. This is not a complete 180, but a difference in ratio of combat to roleplay. And hey, exploration, that's a whole other thing. Just because this place is so technologically advanced doesn't mean that everything's been uncovered. Imagine, if you will, while the train has been established to go from point A to point B, you're missing out on the journey. You're missing out on, like, you've made it to the destination, but your journey was so fast and so autopilot mode, you just, like, zoned out, and they're like, oh, we're already here. You miss out on the wonders that this country actually is hiding underneath all that technology.
Something that Falzen is very much used to.
Mm-hmm.
Never taken down the chain.
If anything as well. What animal did you say you guys were herding?
They hoard mainly griffins.
Griffins?
Griffins.
Allow me.
He's the first dragon. He's the first one to do dragons.
Allow me to also help out with this. What if we actually added into that? We can make it that, like, because griffins are a very expensive commodity. To actually own a griffin is a lot. But we can also make it that axebeaks. Axebeaks are a very common mount to be taken in most snow campaigns because they are like snowbirds. Let me actually show an image for this.
He's so cute.
Yes, I fucking love axebeaks so much.
Are they chocobos? Please tell me they're
Basically,
chocobos.
you have the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
But not quite. It's kind of like, you know, they're halflings, not hobbits, to avoid the copyright stuff.
I can't see. Like that.
Here it is. Okay. Allow me to showcase Adventure Flow, Wilderness Survival. There's a lot of Rime of the Frost Maiden that you're gonna see repeated in this. Like, here's one of the most this is not the axe peak image, but here's one of the most intimidating images I love about Rime of the Frostmaiden, which is why Yetis become that much scarier.
Oh god.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Oh god.
I legitimately thought that was a mountain. I was like, "Where's the monster?"
Yeah. Oh no, that is the monster.
Okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything super important?
You
Very intelligent.
We're all
Yeah.
married now.
That's his entire family's thing is making like feed for like a lot of different mounts, but their main specialty is the fucking frostbite.
there you go. Look at that. That's an axe peak.
It's a snow chocobo. I love it.
Let's go.
It's a big burb.
It's a big bird.
Big,
Yes.
big bird.
Jod, so basically what we were explaining is like our positions on the train, how your character needs to eventually get to the point where, regardless of whatever background you had to have gotten to a point where you have the starting goal you have. So which is why I was asking, on top of the private cart, how stupid with your money are you? Would you pay for all of the most expensive and luxurious foods
I
that,
would
that
order
the cart?
bottle service every time.
Yes, and on top of that, there was also the other question of would you also pay for companionship? Like I said, we're starting spicy.
My character is a satyr, so probably not. He would need to.
Why?
19 charisma.
Oh, I see.
The barmaid and like.
Let me ask this of you,
Barmaid.
Jod. Do you happen to attract a specific type of crowd that what's the word I'm looking for?
Furries.
There's no. There's not that. It's. Do you happen to attract a crowd that is, we only go to the cactus when it bears fruit?
It depends. Jod is the very, like, if you've read your noble fantasy books and whatnot, he's like your total, like, in his young years, total absolute douchebag royalty. Like, he parties, he has crazy orgies and stuff.
Okay.
He never pays for sex because he doesn't need to.
Well,
but
I guess here's the better question. Are people only hanging out with you because of your status and your money?
For the most part, I'd say so. Probably.
That's what I want to hear.
With that dude.
Okay.
Yep.
That's definitely what I wanted to hear. So I will provide you both the finest in all the town. The finest this train can provide.
I decline companionship, thanks.
As much as you decline it, you're rooming with someone who naturally pulls that in.
Just room with Jod.
I'm just gonna drink heavily and sit in the corner while he's doing his thing.
Don't
Really wasn't necessary. Like, it's not even that long of a train ride, dude.
just room with Jod.
But there are.
Let me get it on.
Have fun with friends with benefits. Yes.
Side note. Here's another side note. You're gonna see me gush over images that I fucking love from the Icewind Dale book, like this.
Oh, that is a dope ass background. Holy shit.
So like these.
That's a pretty cool background.
That's really cool.
Like,
It almost looks like a picture someone took.
Yeah.
It almost does.
and like
A little bit of people walking in the.
Yeah. It really encapsulates how large it is.
that's the idea. Imagine people who never hear of the spiky glaciers that jut out from the ground because they just took a train that bypassed that.
I mean, it's probably the rich kids, yeah.
And then once again, like Talion, what you miss is like this is the terror of the cold, especially when blizzards are constant. Imagine that, like that's a Yeti that just shows up out of nowhere.
Bro, that's like my second cousin, alright? I don't know what you're talking about.
Or
Jod's twice removed.
or let's talk about the mystical nature of some of the stuff.
Damn.
Bro, why's he got axes on his head?
Thick as shit. Look at that.
Dang.
Yeah. You know,
Oh god.
we can't have a cold north without snowy owlbears.
I changed my character development choice. I just want an owlbear.
You just want an owlbear.
Yeah, I just want an owlbear.
That's
Can I
the,
my
say
regret
what
not
my
having
pe-
Albert.
what my people
Anything
hurt?
else? I don't want redemption.
What my people hurt?
Wouldn't be like, where do you see yourself in 20 levels? With an
Owlbear.
owlbear.
with the owl.
An owlbear.
And he's like, "Oh shit, it's my sister."
And there are some really remarkable things. I can't wait to just like here's the campaign. Here are some things you might miss. This place has a huge history behind it. Of course, like I mentioned, there's technology, but there's things that the technology was built over. There's so much that you guys can cover if you actually go off the beaten path. We'll see how it goes roleplay wise.
I'm excited for some of these roleplay scenes.
Let's go.
It's gonna be fun, you guys.
Quite
Yeah.
excited.
No.
With that, do you guys? What I asked this because I want to make sure this is the session to be asking this stuff, because the next time we all meet, we will all be officially starting session 1. Do you guys have any questions?
Okay, so when it comes to the technology, do they have like rudimentary televisions, or is that too far ahead?
Actually, no. That's a thing that can exist.
Okay.
Granted, of course, like the train itself, like maybe news travels fast, but at the same time, news travels based off of like, hey, the train makes it from point A to point B, whereas like it would take an adventure a month. The train gets there in 10 days, and in those 10 days while you're on the train, you don't really have any like understanding as what's happening within those regions until you get to those regions. But like news within the region travels fast.
Okay.
Like, they have like radios and stuff.
So would it be comparative to like real world 40s and 50s technology?
Yep, I would actually allow that. And like so, radios to answer like
That's pretty
radios
good.
exist, TVs,
It's fantastic.
sending.
Guys, we can be flappers.
You guys are going to be familiar with the sending stone technology, which has been upgraded to actually convey the phone. Like the way this works is, the green countries have an abundance of magic that flows throughout it. That's why so much technology is advanced here. However, though, because the magic only works within the region, none of this technology works outside of its borders. So, for example, hey, I bought an airship here. I'm going to travel to this country. Why is the airship going down? Fuck. We didn't even make it like 50 miles outside the coast, and it finally just ran out of magic, and there we go. You need so that's why like you won't see this technology ever leave the country. So they innovate upwards and inwards.
Interesting.
Interesting.
It's a very fun idea for that. Oh, look at this! I
Yeah,
totally
that's really cool.
forgot that this also exists. Oh, one other thing. Your characters should also come equipped with cold weather clothing.
Just already there.
Cold weather clothing should already be on your characters. Also, I have a very good image for Falzen.
Ooh.
And that's pretty much what he wears all the fucking time.
Clothing, cold weather already.
Yeah.
Yeah, his family does does do wine, but their main is axe birds. And his sister decided, I'm going to do owlbears because they come in handy when construction comes around.
I think there is.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yes, I know. That's a thing.
Can I have a bag of holding?
Can you have a what?
A bag of holding.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Thank you.
Wait, we can have a bag of holding?
No, that was pretty much what I had the artificer did before.
Actually,
but
you know what?
if
No,
you're
no,
aiming
hold on.
Level 8, an
Ac-
artificer
actually-
dip is impossible.
No, actually, I'm gonna give you this. You guys are within one of the most magically technological countries ever. You guys may all come with a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work.
Yes. I like it. Mhm. I am so erect for this campaign, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is
I
gonna be
have
really
a
fun.
question about equipment and stuff like that as well.
What's up?
So my character's starting out as it has 2 levels of wizard, right? But I do plan to go more into the fighting class. I don't have armor, and I didn't get a sword or anything. Is there a way I can get something?
I can provide you something within the campaign, knowing that you want to. At what level do you want to finally dip into a martial class?
I've already dipped into a martial class, so I have 2 levels of wizard and then 1 level of fighter right now.
Okay. What armor would you like?
I'm thinking just starting level. I haven't played
Here,
a martial character.
No, don't worry. Here, let me go ahead and actually, like, the easiest way to pull this up is let's take a look at what options the fighter starts with. The fighter can choose between chainmail or leather armor.
Probably leather armor. I want to say chainmail, but I don't think she's there.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and you can start with leather armor because hey, let's give your actual like semi martial magical character the means to protect themselves that does not require mage armor.
Cool.
Like, see, now that's also another good question, guys. Equipment question. What Raggu and Lyuna asked is 100% well within the space to ask within this. No, you cannot start with the Sun Sword. I don't know why. I felt like I needed to say that because I feel like a certain someone's going to ask.
Are ice giants a thing?
Are what?
Ice giants a thing?
Yes. Frost Giants indeed are.
Okay.
Opposed to,
Belts of
Xeno.
Frost Giants are not available either. What's up?
Does anything in this campaign perhaps relate to Fae Fiend or Undead?
You're gonna get fucking struck by lightning and just die, bro. It's gonna
There we go.
fucking murder you.
There we go. I fixed it. No one look at him in the VC.
I feel weirdly at peace.
I know, right? It's nice. It's nice. It's nice when we have a gag over him.
Okay, can I ask if there is an item that would be helpful in preventing somebody from scrying on Nox? I feel like that was a measure that they took that they would take in their
To prevent people from scrying on you?
Yes. Oh, look, you got unmuted.
Yeah. That item exists. Let me take a look at the rarity of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. If it's not possible for them to have it, that's fine. I was just curious.
Long sword of vengeance.
I would have to take a look at that. But let me go ahead and there's a thing that prevents people from looking at you.
Cursed weapon. Maybe not. I don't know.
I mean,
Curse weapon would
Nox
be
should
funny.
probably take it, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like there's supposed to be like a ring or like a thing that
I
prevents
thought
like.
there was, and I knew you'd be the one to ask, so you
I
were
believe that-
Raggu.
There's a ring of mind protection.
I actually was just that's literally what I jumped to, and it explains that other creature it prevents you're immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, to know your creature's type. Creatures with telepathic communicate only if you allow it, so it does not prevent scrying.
Ah, crap. So, but is there not an item that exists, or an enchantment?
I think there is. There's definitely a spell that does it.
Mhm.
And I'm fairly certain there's an item that does it too, but I don't remember what the item is off the top of my
Okay.
head.
If none of us can think of it off the top of our heads, then it's probably too rare for it to be possible to have.
And you said Longsword of Vengeance? Real?
I don't know about that. I have another one that I wanted to, but I'm reading it right now.
I can
I've
totally see
changed
this
my
one.
mind. I am gonna do chainmail. Sorry.
Alright. I could totally see this one actually working even roleplay wise, because there's totally like, yes, curses typically are dealt with via like standard, but roleplay wise, curses can also be dealt redemption wise.
I sent you the name of the other one. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Hold on. Arc. Wow.
Akron,
Ak-
right? I don't know.
Pulling it.
Is it everyone's getting a bag of holding along with these items? Or...
Everyone is getting a free bag of holding.
Yay!
I'm gonna say no to this one. You know what? Here, this is what I'm gonna do. On top of the bag of holding, you may all have one additional uncommon item of your one uncommon item that I must approve.
Okay.
Cool.
So this is a good time to be looking through, and in fact, this is actually probably the best time to be looking through because it is officially the intermission time, everyone. So, chat. We'll be back in about half an hour. Go ahead and vibe with the characters here while they go over, premates. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. Actually, no. Let me just set it to be right back. Yeah. Feel free to chat, give our characters some advice. Tell them a good uncommon magic item to take.
Oh yeah, I already know what I'm doing. Or at least what I'm gonna try to do.
What do?
Huh? Oh, I'm gonna
Yes,
pull
what do?
just a little bit of a Snazberg and get him to give me a dragon-touched focus that will increase in rarity as we level up. It's gonna start it up, and it will go up from there.
How do I filter this so it only says uncommon items?
I'm pretty sure you can't even do it.
Proficient,
you could
common,
just-
magical, container. Because container.
Yeah, you can do just like magical and then just look through the green items. Because I believe once you click magical, it does it in order. Cloak of Billowing.
Oh my goodness.
Orb of Gonkin.
Wait.
In
How do
Orb
you
of
filter it?
Gonkin. Yeah. Just click magical and then scroll down until you find the green items, and that's your
Cool.
list.
Awesome.
Melidan, you could also pull a little bit of a Snazberg and get a dragon-touched weapon that evolves with your dragon. Or, you can just be based and take an alchemy jug.
I could, but I'm not going to.
-1 relationship point. I'm just kidding.
Oh, dragon vessel.
Is it under inventory? Like you hit manage inventory?
It
I'm
is.
still.
Yes.
Okay,
And
I
then
got
you
it
have to
now.
like scroll a lot because there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. I was half tempted of getting a lantern.
Oh, okay, found it. Amulet of Proof against Detection and Location. That's the anti-scrying thing you're looking for, and it's uncommon. While wearing this amulet, you are hidden from divination magic. You cannot be targeted by such magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. So there's your anti-scrying.
I'm half sensitive to asking for the eyes of the eagle. Or...
Oh my god, there's so much.
There is. Hey Brad, how do you feel about a Hellfire longsword? Or a Hellfire quarterstaff?
Hellfire! I was thinking the same thing.
Hellfire! Oh, there's a whip! There's a whip!
You just want shield. Just shield. Oh, there's these things called the Periapt of Health and Periapt of Wound Closure. That's like one of the better, just the standard basic magic item.
Sorry, what's up? You want to say my name?
The Periapt of Health and the Periapt of Wound Closure are on the uncommon. The green rarity, I guess, would be. So those are available.
Actually, I myself, I'm just looking for the +1 dart. Yeah. +1 dart, kind of really all you need. Easily.
Okay, sorry, I thought I heard somebody say my name.
Oh, that was me saying, how do you feel about Hellfire Warhammer?
Hellfire Warhammer?
Yeah,
Hellfire? I don't know how my character feels about Hellfire.
Hellfire Warhammer. Yeah.
Also not sure if that does a lot.
1d10 damage.
Well, yeah,
Sort
there's
of vengeance.
short sort of vengeance.
The wand. There's all of the wands are uncommon at this level too. Like wand of entangle, wand of magic detection, wand of magic missiles.
Wand of secrets.
Wand of fireball.
That one's not on here.
Aw.
Oh yeah, no, don't get a Hellfire weapon. That's not at all worth it. It doesn't do anything.
And then there's also like a I was going to think about a dragon wrath weapon. It's a longsword.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest for you. Although technically it could be any weapon, is what it says, or it's at least what it says like in the book, but for some reason it only comes as a longsword on D&D Beyond.
I mean, he is proficient with the quarterstaff and a short sword. And a longbow. So.
You're a ranger, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're proficient with any weapon.
Yep.
But yeah, if you wanna get a dragon, yeah, we can be doing like the same thing, because I'm gonna ask for a dragon touched focus that upgrades with our certain levels.
Yeah, I'll ask for the wrath weapon.
Alright, awesome. You're gonna do the wrath weapon, I'm gonna do the dragon touch focus.
Yeah.
Not big for either of us right now. You just do a little extra damage on a crit, and I have advantage on initiative. But once we get to that next level, that's where it's really good.
Yeah. Because there will be times where he would like, bro, I have long swords. If you had like some fire, just light the arrows on fire. We can just add more damage now. Especially if we're low on health, we're gonna have to run.
question for those who have multi-classed. Do you pick up the proficiencies as well when you multi-class?
Yes.
You do not. You only take the proficiency of the class, your level 1 class. Whatever you are.
Isn't it? Cool.
So if you want
Those
to,
optional
you're doing,
class features, you can change your optional class features.
Oh yeah, or you could do that.
Okay, cool.
And if you wanted to do it just normally, and you're the 2-level divination wizard, 1-level fighter,
Yeah.
I would put like the fighter level first, and then the 2 wizard levels, and then keep leveling up fighter from there. So you have all the armor proficiencies and the weapons and such.
Cool. Gotcha. Smart. I'll probably change up that on my character sheet.
Do remember that this does change your skill proficiencies and saving throw proficiencies as well.
Yeah,
You would go
I'm
from
gonna
intelligence
go through the whole
into-
process again of managing it.
I think, yeah. Strength and con.
Yeah, this man is just usually very comfortable around animals. I'm gonna ask him if it would be like, if he would have advantage in animal handling.
Yeah.
Because he's been around that all his fucking life. What?
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 Hmm?
But I can't get over how cute this picture is in the stream. Baby.
That cricket, yo.
Yeah, it's a loud
It
cricket.
don't matter. I was gonna mute myself, but I was like, you know what? This is perfect for intermission. Just
Yeah, it's just
sit.
crickets.
Just crickets.
It's fine. It's like, it just, cricket intensifies is all I can think right now. It's like cricket intensifies. Every once in a while it just gets really loud.
I think he got self-conscious.
The cricket.
And they're talking about
Yeah.
me. I gotta stop.
I'm sorry, I won't do it anymore.
There's so many of these to look through.
Yeah.
I would grab at least 2 or 3 just for him to reject or accept.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm just
Hey.
Hey!
Yes, buddy, yours. Buddy.
Baby!
Hello, buddy.
Oh, squeaky toy. Oh boy, that's very loud.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I will take care of it.
Okay. Remove squeaker.
Remove the one who squeaks.
It's a whistle that animates dead. What the fuck?
It's pretty nice.
If you blow the whistle in darkness or under the night sky, it allows you to cast the animate dead spell. Wow.
It kind of gives me the like vibe of Sailor Moon, the dreaming Piper.
Oh yeah. It is called the Night Caller, so I think it had a similar vibe, yeah. Oh man, that's that is once every 7 days, yeah. Slowly create undead army.
Very slow.
Here's the Nature's Mantle. That's fucking cool. Make that especially for our ranger.
Our buddy ranger here.
Yeah, and it also doubles as a spellcasting focus. Very nice.
What does?
The
whistle?
Nature's Mantle. No, the Nature's Mantle.
Oh. Okay.
Like your ASMR. I appreciate it very much.
Mhm.
It's just,
It's
it
just a
reminds me
little
of like vibes. Because the cricket says to me, like, warm summer nights, and then, like, panting dog next to me. It's very much like, yes, just a vibe. Feel like I'm
He
on
is
board.
waiting for me to just throw this toy.
Oh, yeah. Sounds very expected. I'm guessing you threw it.
Perhaps I did. It could have happened.
Yeah. It's very amusing. The oh my god, yeah, the fucking claw explosion. Yeah. And then that sounded like thunder, whatever that was. Probably an airplane, but still.
Probably, yes. This is California. We don't rain here. We don't know what rain is.
Oh my god. Oh, some of the best times I had were driving through California in the rain because all of the oil comes up from the road and everybody's sliding around like idiots. I'm like, fuck you.
And people who have just never driven before.
Yeah. We had, I was in LA during a November rainstorm because that's like the only time it does rain in LA. And, they shut the freeway down. Like the cops were in front of everybody in a line and were driving really slow, so they were like forcing people to go below the speed limit so they wouldn't crash because it rained. They were not able to handle that. So it's like, oh my god. It's crazy.
Time for looking up spells.
Yeah, I want to do the thing. I'm excited.
I had to squeak it so he'd come back. He was just searching through the bushes endlessly because I didn't actually throw it.
Oh my
He's back
goodness.
here. Buddy, you're famous. You're on Twitch.
You gotta get more famous than that hot tub girl who, like, makes weird mouse noises in the microphone. You're just like,
That was
this
not
is wholesome dog mouth noises.
The best.
Precisely.
Actually, so- Oh, he's been getting used to me throwing it left, and now that I've thrown it right, he has no idea where it is. Oh, he's figuring it out. Yep, there he is. He got it. Yeah, good boy. Well, you dropped it down there, and now I can't get it. Dum-dum.
No gib, only throw.
Well, he wants to gib, but he doesn't understand that I don't have an 8-foot arm.
Get toy, throw.
A toy, you can reach this far, right? Yes, hello, shoes. Yeah, hi, buddy.
Wow.
Hmm?
He really do be singing.
He's singing. He knows he's on in an audience now. Heard me say, "Oh, Twitch? For real?" let me warm up first. Yeah, he do be singing for real.
You do be singing for real though. God damn it, he posted it on the main chat too, fuck!
What happened?
Don't look at main chat memes, don't do it, just don't. I'm sorry, not safe for work chat memes, don't do it, just don't. It's a cursed image. My soul is now burdened with purposeless weight.
That went unnecessarily hard.
Yeah, I am cursed now. I am going to be living a half-life now. I have to consume unicorn blood.
Might as well. Like, well, I'm already living a half-life anyway. Might as well just drink some unicorn blood. Oh, yeah, some asshole wants to turn on their motorcycle this fucking late at night.
Oh wow, yeah.
Go fuck yourself. You driving around the fucking neighborhood? Yeah. Fucking
Go
fun.
break his knees.
I probably should.
I would.
Dog really wants me to throw this toy.
Ah, yes, priorities.
Yeah, I know. He's been a good boy, so he gets toy throws. Amulet of the drunkard. Oh, pictures. Oh, no, it's 13 paladins still. Arcane Grimoire.
Alright, somebody's burning something. Man, I don't want to close the window, it's warm, but fuck these people.
Definitely, fuck this. Break their kneecaps for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. At least it's not plastic, like I have to deal with it at work all the time. Actually, it smells like somebody's vibing with the fire.
It is indeed just better than burning plastic. Like, burning plastic's just pretty bad.
I think I found the real One Piece Film Red opening trailer thing. And it's like real or like fan made. It looks pretty fucking real because it's got a lot of their outfits that have been released.
Artemis, you're okay, bud.
Uh-oh, all the animals be on crack right now.
My dog is nowhere in fight though.
No, mine are fine. They're not even doing the movies, which is weird. It's so fucking funny.
Reach for it. Shoes, you're so funny. Come on, get your toy. Your toy. There you go. Boy.
Alright, everyone, I'm gonna have to dip. I gotta get up for work in about 4.5 hours. Yes, everyone. Yeah. Ciao. When Xeno gets back, tell him I said thank you.
Yeah. So when Xena gets back, tell him to say fuck you. That's what I said, right?
Kill my character first. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's totally what he said.
Yes, hello, buddy. Okay, well, thank you for nudging it to me at least. Dust of sneezing and choking.
So instead of asthma, you have motoring.
We're gonna be inclusive with the BBEG. They have asthma. I use the dust of...
That's why they live in the snow.
That's having asthma is, and hearing that makes me do a cringe. Oh man, like I can feel that. Like that is a feeling. Thank you. Sit here and concentrate on breathing normally for a few minutes.
And we're back.
Hi back, I'm Daddy.
No.
Hey, starting off spicy.
Where's Talion? Did he bounce?
Yeah, he had to go to bed. He has to wake up very early tomorrow.
Alright.
Yeah, he said he wanted you to kill his character first.
Got it, understood.
Yeah. Yes. So we have to respect his wishes.
I need to also... Now I'm gonna gift those who are sticking around what I set in my mods.
What about mods? Me? That's me. I do that.
Me too.
D&D General.
I hate you so much. Why would you keep spreading it?
It's funny. I like it. Yes, chat. Welcome back. So when we last left off, we were discussing magic items. So with the time gifted, I know Talion. I think that's why he messaged me what he was looking for. I need to take a look. Bloodwell file. Let's see how powerful this is. Bloodwell file. Just a few drops.
The dog water drinking ASMR.
Water drinking ASMR. Here we go.
I almost didn't mute
spell
myself
casting
for it.
focus. You can both spell while DC sorcerer spells. Yeah, you know what? I would allow this one. So I'm gonna give him the approval on the Bloodwell vial. Let's see. Skittles, you specifically requested.
A couple of things.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on.
A sun sword, which of course you can have.
Figure if it gave you options.
I'm taking a look at this one right now. Flawless, she'll get advantage.
No, sun sword was actually just for one character.
No, I really like the Sentinel Shield. I'm being kind of basic about this.
I actually like this a lot. Shield's made of wood or metal and is carried in one hand. Wielding shield increases your AC by 2. You can only benefit from one shield at a time. Yeah, I would allow Sentinel Shield.
It is the giant eyeball that I really like about that.
Yes. Alright, so we have Sentinel Shield. We have Bloodwell Fire. Dragon's Wrath weapon. Okay, let me take a look at it.
Me and Melidan were both thinking of doing a thing.
What specific weapon, Melidan?
Quarterstaff.
Quarterstaff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. You're working with the D8 of a longsword anyway, so that's good.
Would you? Hold on. So, side note. Out of curiosity, why a quarterstaff?
Huh?
Out of curiosity, why a quarterstaff?
Because I wanted it to be a quarterstaff.
Fair enough.
Because I want it.
How long has I am shooketh. Good job, D&D Beyond. They have a separate bag of holding tab.
Oh yeah, they.
Oh yeah, that's been there since Beyond.
I think it's been there for the past 3 months. So there's an entire like
Yeah.
separate bag of holding area, and the bag of holding, by the way,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
also
not just for 3 months. It was a lot longer than that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, because it came out with the backpack. We had a bag holding in the campaign before last, before all of our lovely new people joined us. But it wasn't in there. So between then and now, it happened, and I think it was recent.
Yeah.
And that's fucking
I'm sure I
cool.
have.
It is pretty nice. I like, probably my favorite aspect of it is because one of the biggest reasons why like people are like, oh, not only can we not put the stuff in here, there's the reason why we take the bag because of the weight reasons. So yes, bag of holdings are good for weight.
You don't have to do it that stupid way where you like subtract. Oh yes, this is so much better.
So much better.
I will allow. Be aware, Melidan. That do you so lore wise, do you know how Dragon's Wrath weapon works?
Lore wise, he has like the basic idea because he actually researched dragons on his own. So
Okay. Out
putting it into
out of character, do you know how a Dragon's Wrath weapon is made?
Zeno, we're gonna ask that we bend the lore a little. That both of us, because we're both doing a similar thing.
Right. So, okay. If this is a thing that the two of you are sharing, I would like to hear the both of you explain it because, for some people, like a Sentinel Shield, yeah, I would allow that. For a Blood Will Vial, yeah, I allow it because I totally can see him taking it. Please give me your reasoning.
Okay, so I was thinking for the both of us are, but because I was going to ask you for a dragon touched focus at the same time. As the dragon that Melidan has grows in its stages, that would be the upgrading of our respective items.
No.
That the energy from that sudden growth would do that to our items.
I am probably going to give a no to that. As that pretty much, like, you have to remember that, like, that is not just a progression in, like, hey, your character's getting stronger because of this. When your character hits that milestone, this is a different type of progression that you guys will have that isn't advantageous to others. So Dragon's Wrath weapons cannot get stronger as you guys get stronger.
Yeah.
They cannot.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
I'll just. I will allow this. I will allow this. The two of you, seeing as how you both are blessed by Bahamut, we can make that part of that blessing is with a dragon's, with whatever item that's imbued with Bahamut. So looks wise, it has your choice of one of the metallic dragon's looks. And the way it like lore wise, the way Dragon's Wrath weapons works, and once again, this is so anyone knows. Typically, a weapon that has been seeped in a dragon's hoard for a certain amount of time absorbs some of the power of that dragon. That power is usually represented by the age of the dragon. So, because a dragon's a slumbering Dragon's Wrath weapon comes from a young dragon, typically. So, with that in mind, I would make sense that Bahamut wanted to give you guys an item to take a good step forward, a slumbering uncommon weapon to now allow for growth. This is part of I don't want to make this an expectation, but if you guys want your weapon to get stronger or your Dragon's Wrath weapon to get stronger, you need to find different dragons hordes to embed your item with for a set amount of time. So it would undergo like a transformation process to get stronger.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna say no to that. I'll find something else.
So, with that in mind, Melidan, do you still want a Dragon's Wrath weapon, knowing that it cannot get stronger throughout the campaign unless you specifically find Dragon's Hordes to leave it in for a time being? Or do you want to change it?
Fred, are you planning on changing yours?
No.
Yeah, I'm
What?
changing mine. Yeah, I'm changing mine.
Yeah.
That kind of upgrade is just too specific. And that's like DM has to go far out of their way to make something like that happen multiple times.
Yeah.
Find something.
I'm gonna change mine too.
Okay. I
There
understand.
was one but I lost.
Remember, uncommon. It cannot be of rare quality. So part of the biggest reason why, like, if once again as a reiteration, it's not a matter that I don't like the dragon that you summon, Falzen, is not okay. You are a Drake Warden, but what the dragon that you summon is not like as powerful as a true dragon can get to. And usually dragon's wrath weapons or whatever have you get stronger because of the dragon's horde and the stuff they acquire. It cannot be something that, like, hey, when I reach my next milestone, this also upgrades with me, because that just immediately puts you at a better vantage point than other player characters, because their items do not get stronger.
They can get items.
No, not like that. Lyuna and Nox, what about you two? Uncommon items of your choice?
So I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
I was wondering if I could forego this, which is, it's totally fine if not, to gain a proficiency with heavy armor. Because I don't have, with how I set up my character sheet and how I kind of like it from my perspective, is starting out as wizard. And that only gives me proficiency in light and medium armor.
Okay, gonna
It's
keep
cool
the
if
wizard.
not. I think I'm gonna keep the wizard, first.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So, hold on, you're foregoing the fighter level until you're at a later point? Or I might have...
No. If I could forego an item and just gain proficiency in heavy armor. It's a big ass. It's chill if it's a no.
Here's what I'll give it. So the way I usually do proficiency gains is that someone needs to have an in-game month of attempting to wield proficiency with it. So somewhere in the backstory, it can even be like a small little footnote that you spent a month trying to practice being proficient with heavy armor. You can describe the struggle of what it was to wield heavy armor for a month, not like trying to learn the tricks of how to move around with it, how to increase your movability.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Maybe while we were traveling together, you would sneak my armor when I took it off and go practice, trying to move and walk around in it.
Yeah.
While I wasn't paying attention,
I'm just gonna go wash this.
He's like, oh, that looks dirty right there. I just polished it. Well, there's a smudge.
It needs to be.
The butcher is just stepping real slowly, like Goku with his 100-pound vest.
I'm down with that. So you gain proficiency doing that. And you know what? I'll even give you this. Would you like to have the weakest, heaviest armor? Because heavy armor is pretty expensive. And fighters don't innately, unless it's like chainmail, you don't innately start with it.
Yeah, that's fine. Cause yeah.
So let me go ahead and do this. Let me find game rules, items, equipment, heavy armor. Let me find it for you.
I had other options if that was a no, which is fine.
So, okay. Cost-wise, actually no, I'd be okay. Would you like chainmail?
I'm cool with even just a chain shirt, just to get my armor class a little bit better. Because right now with nothing, well, I could have done the leather armor.
This is the DM allowing you to, because it's a fighter starting equipment, and it would still allow you to have hey, gaining proficiency. I'm more than fine with that. You have proficiency with heavy armor now, and there you go.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Brad, I can hear the crickets. I appreciate you, but a little bit loud. Okay, let me see this. Let me take a look at those items, Melidan. While I'm looking at that, Nox, did you have an idea for your item? Nox.
Yeah,
You have
I'm here. Sorry. I got the Amulet of Proof Against Detection and Location, actually. This is the item where I can't be targeted by
Via scry.
divination magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors.
What is the rarity of the item?
It is uncommon.
There you go. All right, fine.
Yep.
Let's see.
Excellent.
Of the two items, Melidan, which one do you want more?
I'll cover pretty good. Because my Goliath already has dark vision of 60 feet. Even though that would put him at like a long range, but it's more of like so that he can be able to, if he has to, he can.
I'm sorry. So you're asking about the which of the two items?
Because the Eyes of the Eagle, we're probably going to be facing off like blizzards at one point, like pretty much be able to leave the place. It's like you don't got nothing.
That's fine.
He can pretty much be the guide if he has to.
All right. Well, either way, I am more than fine with the eyes of the eagle. All right. And Brad, what about you?
Man, just an arcane grimoire.
Arcane Grimoire? I actually am trying to see
It's
what
just
that is.
Talion's thing, but for the wizard.
Okay, and then like +1 stuff, and like, does this also affect your saving or your savers DCs?
It does.
All right, I'm more than fine with that. If anything, you want to make it so like the it obviously is very like dragon themed.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm actually out of curiosity. Did you make it dragon themed yourself, or did it come dragon themed?
No, it's just an arcane grimoire.
Well,
It's just supposed to be about
like, I'm asking for flavor wise. Like, for example, you might have like, oh hey, some people like to like do like covers on their books. So like, did it come dragon themed, or did you make it dragon themed?
Probably made it.
He like folded up a paper bag as a book covers, little drawings all over it. That weird like S thing that you can make with lines.
All right.
I will say, too, my character does not have a sword yet, and it's really cool to get one in-game. Eventually.
Okay. So here's probably my biggest thing for you, is that you did not take an uncommon item. I realistically don't have any issue with you taking, like, extra starting equipment because you just don't have an uncommon magic item. Like, if
So sorry.
If you are not taking an uncommon magic item, I have no issue. Like, the proficiency is a nice little touch, but at the end of the day, it's still like a, hey, I just have uncommon items that have no magical properties. I don't mind you taking an extra starting equipment for the purposes of making sure your character is better equipped for something where everyone else has, like, you know, someone has an item that gives them advantage on perception checks and initiative. Another person has items that not only give them advantage on perception, but also clear vision through blizzards. We have another one who increases their spell power, 2 people in fact. And then we have a whole other person who prevents them from being scryed. You are foregoing an uncommon magic item in place for proficiency and heavy armor. I have no issue with giving you a little bit of extra just because you're under equipped, to say the least.
Okay, cool.
I figured out how to roll with advantage, and I'm so happy.
There you go. So, what extra starting equipment would you like, Laluna? Sorry, Lyuna.
I think. Trying to look at the fighter to see what they. I know I see that they start with the chainmail, a martial weapon. That's what. Yes.
What martial weapon would you like to start with?
It's a great question.
Are you trying to, Atticus, are you modeling yourself to look like you're, the, hi, I want to be like you?
Yes.
Okay.
Look, I got this now too.
So, what weapon do you wield, bro?
I have equipped a long sword and a hand axe.
Would you like a longsword, Lyuna?
Yes.
So you have a longsword, chainmail, and proficiency with heavy armor despite not starting the fight, and that is what you were given in place of an uncommon item, extra starting equipment and extra proficiency.
Perfect.
Alright. We have starting equipment answered. We have extra equipment answered. We have roleplay questions. We have story beats. I'm gonna take what's given to me, put some things in my notes, and now I guess now that I have that, you guys have answered all my homework questions. So, since next week is session 1, I have a new homework question for you. Will someone message this to Talion after I present it to you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I will not.
Okay. The next homework question. I want you to think of a short and brief introduction with the assumption that your character is going to get a little bit of a spotlight. Try to make sure that your introduction does not forcibly involve the other player characters. It is okay to involve NPCs. It is okay to involve parts of the environment, but you cannot have your introductory. You can't come in and completely override a situation and be given absurd things for your introduction. Make it short, make it simple, make it so the audience knows what you look like, your mannerisms, and maybe even where you are in the train. Coming to session 1 prepared with that would be pretty nice. We're gonna have a little round table where we're all gonna go through, have our little spotlights, and you're gonna obviously have me do a little bit of a setting the mood and setting the scene. So come with something with the expectation that you can change it a little bit to better fit my descriptions. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions?
Cannot have your introduction come at. Sorry, can you repeat the
Yeah. Like what you're.
I already sent it to him if that's what you're doing.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I like to imagine it was a very brief. Get ready to introduce yourself. Don't be a dick about it.
It was pretty much the short, simple, cute, how you present yourself to the world kind of thing.
Okay.
I didn't do much more than that.
Alright. So, if
Don't be a dick about it. I should put that on there.
If no other questions are there, we're all ready for session 1, guys. The next campaign's coming. And this is gonna be the first campaign where we're gonna give the entire story its own title.
Oh. And you're gonna give us the title
Sometime
now?
within. Oh, it's like shit. Okay, here we go. I think I can come up with something that's about. What do you think? The title for the next campaign's title. Okay, let's see. Let me do this. Oh, okay. The next campaign's title. I keep doing that thing where I just keep giving myself longer pauses and breaks to give myself more time to do. Let's see.
You can think about it. I was just kidding. It's all good.
Oh,
The
here we go.
auger of sin.
The sin of.
No, no. Oh no, right. I'm not saying the sin's name in the title. Okay. Here we
Damn
go.
it.
The next campaign's title is Cold Covets of Power.
Ooh.
Ah, it's the sin of cold.
Yes. The sin of cold. Yes, Cold Covets for Power.
Cold Covets.
For power.
We will go ahead and leave it on. Next time we see you all, we will begin campaign 1, session 1 of Cold Covets of Power. With that, we hope you all, if you enjoyed today's content, like what you saw and want to support what we do, feel free to follow and subscribe on Twitch for any stream notifications, possible chances to participate in content polls. Follow the Twitter, check out the TikTok, join the Undead Legion Discord, and for any VODs, such as today's episode, check out the Xeno YouTube channel. Be sure you all have yourselves a very safe night, and remember, Session Zeros help make sure that your D&D sessions go off extremely well. Good night, everyone.
Bye.